9 states in America combined.
You're concerned about what the lawsuit means for the
I'm
state,
just
or?
talking about the reputation of the state. I'm talking about the future of the industry. I'm talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about the film tax credits. I'm talking about the importance of getting national tax credits. I'm talking about the bipartisan effort to do just that and get Trump administration to support American filmmaking, not just California filmmaking. But as fiduciary for this state, as governor of the state, I want to see Hollywood thrive, and we've been working hard doubling that tax credit, and we continue to make progress to do more to support the industry and support local government on permitting and issues that continue to be challenging. So this is a big deal. And I'm not going to get into the merits or demerits of the merger. That's the Attorney General's purview right now, but I was pleased to hear his comments.
Governor, the EPA just announced that they are planning to, they are intending to flood the California and other states with gasoline by tweaking the allowances for E10 gasoline. They're describing this as an emergency waiver that's intended to offset gas prices. I wanted to see if you had any reaction to that, if that's something that you support.
I don't have any. We're already working, as you know, on the E15 issue here in the state of California, so the familiar territory in that respect, which we should legislatively be addressing this in the next matter of weeks. As it relates to the larger issue of gas, I'd like him to address the issue that he's created, which is the spike in gasoline because of this war in Iran, which seems now to be, even for him, a distraction. Seems now more interested in what's happening in North Korea. As a way to distract against the errant of this terrible decision. So I think fundamentally he needs to address the Strait of Hormuz. He wants to address the issue of gas prices, but we'll take a look at the details of this new proposal. But at the core of the issue, the problem, that's one that is represented every morning when he's shaving.
I have a question for Brad, actually.
Do it.
Hi, I'm Monica Madden, ABC7. With these investment accounts being through 2028, are there already conversations, do you think it could be a given in the next administration, depending on who's president? Very well could be this guy, you never know.
So I'd say two things. First, the accounts are permanent. So they don't have to be reauthorized. The accounts will be created in 29 and 30 and 31. The only thing that has to be reauthorized is the amount of seed capital coming from the U.S. Treasury. So to put that in perspective, there are 3.7 million kids born in America every year. $1,000 each, that's $3.7 billion. In Washington, they call that budget dust. It's about the cost of a single Patriot missile battery to make every child in America an owner from birth in the upside of America. So as the governor said, this has never been a partisan issue for me. We have broad bipartisan support in the House, in the Senate, among the potential presidential contenders. I think this is day one. People will optimize it. It will evolve and change over time. I have no doubt that the dollars will be reauthorized post-2028. Some of those legislative offerings are already being put forth in the House and the Senate. People who want to make the funding permanent, people who may want to increase the funding, et cetera. I'll leave that to them. It's above my pay grade, but I have very, very high confidence. In fact, we don't need legislative reauthorization for the accounts, and I have very, very high confidence that the $1,000 seed from the federal government will continue. And I think what's more likely is we now see momentum in about 25 states across the country where they're looking at their kids' programs and figuring out how they can consolidate dollars into these accounts. The truth is, as you mentioned, we got a lot of accounts. And a lot of these accounts have too little money, too hard to get parents opening each of these accounts. If we can consolidate the accounts, get it compounding in the upside of the country, and make it easy for parents and companies and philanthropists to add those accounts, I think that's going to be what's best on behalf of our citizens.
But it should be table stakes going forward.
Yeah.
I mean, this is too important. It's the issue of our time. The imbalance between the rich and the poor. And it's not just income inequality, it's wealth inequality. And this is, you got to begin at the beginning. There's the pre-distribution framework or the redistribution framework. Totally. It may be a little bit of both, but the pre-distribution gets under-resourced, literally and figuratively. And that's why I think this is so foundational, literally and figuratively.
And let me just say on behalf of the governor, first, he's the first Democratic governor in the country to step forward so clearly and to endorse these accounts and Trump accounts as such a critical part of closing that wealth gap. Number two, as a business person in the state of California, he's been unequivocal and clear. We have to narrow the wealth gap in the country, which is the whole purpose behind the Invest America Act. But at the same time, we can't demonize success. We can't demonize Micron. We can't demonize our founders. We can't demonize the people who provide the economic engine, the abundance that then we can use to lift up those most in need around us. This is about getting every child in America, every child in California in the game from the start. You know, Warren Buffett said, start with a really small snowball and a really long hill. And there's no longer hill than starting on day one of your life, right? The power of compounding, the power of the California economy, the power of the national economy, working on behalf of every kid, getting every kid into the game. I'll finish with this. I know I'm filibustering, but you know this story. I live in Woodside, California, 125-year-old small farmhouse, small kitchen table where we have breakfast and dinner every evening, 4 seats around the table. And I'm sitting there with my 2 boys, and we're coming out of COVID. And I show my sons, Lincoln and Jack, their investment accounts that I had started for them at birth. It was a tough time, late 2020. Some people were doing great, but the people who I grew up with in rural Indiana, they weren't doing great, right? They figured, like, here you go again. Capital markets are doing great. The rest of us are losing our jobs. We're left out. We're not on this train. And I show my kids their account. To Lincoln's credit, who was then 13, said, Dad, this is great, but what about everybody else? What about everybody else? Why doesn't every kid have an account like this? And I said, I've had an idea for a long time, $1,000 for every kid in America. And it was literally at that kitchen table that we made the call that we're going to try to get this done. Never thought in a billion years that we'd get it passed. It's now the law of the land, and we're just getting started.
I have a question about low-income family. The hesitancy to open the account because they hear about if they have an account, when the kids in college, they were affecting their scholarship.
Yeah.
So they were don't want to open.
Yeah, so, you know, I view that as a high-class problem. That if, you know, a needs-based scholarship, this won't affect. In fact, in the legislation, it's very explicit that this cannot offset needs-based contributions from the federal government. You know, if it's if the kid has $50,000 at the age of 18, they can only use 25% of that toward going to college. The rest rolls over into an IRA. So I don't think it's going to impact their ability to get scholarships. Certainly not going to impact their ability to get federal student loans because it's explicitly excluded in the legislation.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cal Kids are 1 million milestone today.
Yeah.
Eligible
Incredible.
5.5 million.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. And so you'd like to see it.
We need to close that gap, and we're out there promoting, and that's a big part of what today's about as well. And we've got new partnerships with our community colleges, new partnerships with the private sector. We'll be rolling out a lot of other creative ideas that you guys are initiated, and perhaps you just fill in final detailed points.
Happy to do that. So for Cal Kids, we start our Ready, Set, Claim ground game in schools this year. We are asking all the county offices of education to put forth a champion in their districts to be able to connect students with their accounts. We hit 1 million today. Our plan is to just charge through this next school year, and then as our babies come online in kindergarten, start seaming them in. Within 3 years, we'll have universal. Every kid in school will have a Cal Kids account. They'll also eventually have Trump accounts and have that eligibility. So it's very important for us to make sure that kids get what they're eligible for. They sign up for it. They know about it. They're talking about it. There's kitchen table talks, incredibly important.
Thank you, guys.
Again, we wanted to play that out for you here on Live Now from Fox. As California Governor Gavin Newsom was there to take some of those reporter questions. This all came after he held this press conference. I want to put this up on your screen. This is from the governor's press office saying this: families shouldn't have to choose between paying the bills today and saving for college tomorrow. That's why California Governor Gavin Newsom's Cal Kids program, started back in 2022, automatically puts free college scholarships money in the hands of eligible California kids, helping families start saving from the beginning. And so we wanted to bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox. Going to take this opportunity to slide away for a quick 2-minute commercial break. On the other side, much more on today's top stories. Stay with us.
Welcome to Fox 9 All Day Live. I'm Courtney Godfrey. Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. A beautiful day outside. Hopefully you have some time to get out there and enjoy it. Let's jump into your headlines and get you knowledgeable about what's going on today in the Twin Cities Metro. Minneapolis firefighters are investigating a deadly garage fire in North Minneapolis. Crews were called to a home on Colfax Avenue North early this morning and found a man dead inside a detached garage. His identity has not been released, and fire officials say he was not associated with the home's residents. The cause of the fire and the circumstances are still under investigation. And Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy was in Minnesota today to announce a new federal initiative aimed at helping find autistic people who go missing. The program will use existing alert systems, including FEMA's Public Warning Network, to develop autism-specific alerts and training for first responders. Officials say the initiative was modeled in part on Rochester's successful Project Lifesaver program. The Timberwolves and the Lynx are getting a new owner. Just a year after Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez took control, billionaire investor Mark Stodd is buying Lowry's majority stake at a $4.5 billion valuation. A-Rod will remain owner while Lowry will keep a minority stake. The deal still needs NBA approval. Well, we are now 6 days away from the Minnesota State Fair. Producer Grace Henry is going to be in the booth helping me out throughout the day today. Grace, you ready for the fair?
I cannot believe it's already here. I'm excited. I'm not the biggest fair fan.
You know what I don't like about the fair? I hear Paul booing. Paul's a very enthusiastic state fair fan, probably because he's not from here. People who aren't from here, I think, enjoy it a little more. You know what I don't like about the state fair is that it signals the end of summer.
Right.
And that's what I really, really hate. Like when we start doing the week countdown, I'm like, oh my goodness, the kids are going to be back in school soon.
The worst is
the snow
Labor
will be
Day.
here before we know it.
The worst is Labor Day. Labor Day always, I would feel like a sense of impending doom on Labor Day because you knew state fair is over. Back to school. Most kids start school that Tuesday, I feel like, after Labor Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to try to make it out there once or twice.
I'm hoping to do it. I'm hoping to do it twice.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. It's good to go with your family and then go with some friends.
You know what? That's what we need to do, an all-day trip to the fair.
Okay, I would really enjoy that. Let's do it.
I think we should pick one of the concerts at the grandstand and go one night. I'll get a babysitter. You don't need a babysitter.
I don't need a babysitter.
So that's great
it's
for
easy,
you.
Yep.
I tried to organize that last year with girlfriends and it just never came together, but that was fun. I wasn't here yesterday, Grace. Did you guys survive?
Barely. No, Simone
That's
did
what I like to hear.
A great job. We had a lot of live events. It was a really busy show. Today's not going to be as busy, but we still have some really good interviews lined up. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking to go back to the state fair conversation. I pulled up some of these concerts. You can still get tickets to Weird Al.
I think tickets to Hardy are still available, and that's the one I've got my eyes on.
Hardy, yep, tickets are still available. Brad Paisley. Let's see, TLC and Salt and Pepper. I thought that sold out, but that would be.
What night is that?
That is Saturday, September 5th. I'm on event ticket where you get the tickets. $165 each if you want to head out to see TLC, Salt and Pepper.
That's a little steep.
It is a little steep, but I feel like that's pretty normal for concerts nowadays.
Well, you can go to Chemical Romance at Target Field for about $20 on Monday.
You're teasing our segment.
I
Bougie
know.
Basic Budget. That might be in someone's budget later today, but yeah, I mean, yesterday it was great, but I'm excited to get this show on the road so that we can kick off the weekend.
Okay, well, I can't change the time. We still have 2 hours and 45 minutes,
That's
so
all right.
we might as well chit-chat, Grace. What else you got going on?
Well, I'm headed to Florida tomorrow morning.
Let's fill this show up.
I'm headed to Florida tomorrow morning. I'm really excited.
Law enforcement professionals tell us that we should not announce when we're going on vacation, Grace. So.
Oh, well, Whoops. Oops. Whatever. I don't care. I didn't say where in Florida. I won't disclose that.
You live in no, they say that because if you like post on social media, yay, we're going on vacation.
Oh, people know to burglarize.
Correct.
Okay, well.
But you live in an apartment.
I live in an apartment building.
They'd have to get in like 3 locked doors before they get to your door.
I'm really not. I don't have a lot of good stuff in my apartment.
Where's the
either.
dog going?
The dog is being boarded.
Okay.
This is the first time. I'm really nervous about it.
Oh, he's gonna have a great time. She's gonna have a great time. Sorry to misgender your dog. She's gonna have a great time.
I hope so. We're getting her own private suite.
Oh, Grace.
Courtney, I don't have kids. She's like my child. I have to like, you know, she's getting story time. We're paying $5 extra a day to get story time.
Oh my.
Well, private suite, story time. She's gonna have a better life.
Story time, and you pay extra for the story time.
$5 a day. All right, $5. Hey.
Grace, they might be paying you too much here at Fox 9 because that is crazy. $5 a day to have somebody read a book to your dog.
It's cuddle time, like social.
I'm available, Grace. I am available. You could drop your dog off at my house.
Okay, you're offering. Great. All right. Well, after work,
pay me $5 a day. I'll read your dog the entire edition of Vogue.
Great.
Cover to back.
She'd love that. She's such a lap dog.
Oh my.
But yeah, that's
Grace.
I am nervous. We will have a camera on her at all times so we can see what she's. I know it's ridiculous, but I can only imagine what it's going to be like when I'm an actual mother of a human one day. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, this is a good segue into what do we like to call this? Fun Friday or
Feel Good Friday?
Feel Good Friday. Okay. Freaky Friday. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
Above.
Feel Good Friday. So we are asking you to send in pictures of your pets. Grace, maybe we'll send in one of hers. Anything that makes you feel good. This is Sterling. He likes his stuffed animals. Look at Sterling, handsome fella out of Burnsville. You can scan that QR code in the corner and upload the photos easily, or you can go to fox9.com/allday. You can upload them there. Chelsea and Vinny are enjoying the sun. People love to send us pictures of their pets for Feel Good Friday. So I think that this just proves your pets make you feel good. They make you smile. Ruby and Stella. Oh, Ruby thinks she's a bird in the bird feeder. This is adorable.
Ruby's trying to eat a bird.
Yeah, I don't know if Ruby's trying to eat a bird. Look at Beanie Baby, the bearded dragon who snuggles next to me. That is cute. I've actually heard bearded dragons are very similar to having a pet dog. That like they're the most dog-like of the reptiles that you can have as pets. So not surprised to see this. Very cute. Oh, look at these kitties from Kenyon. So cute.
Last one.
Oh, adorable. Well, you can send they don't have to be pets, Grace, by the way. You can send pictures, whatever makes you feel good. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your dinner, a meal, a cocktail. I don't know.
Anything and everything. Send us your pictures, and we'll be taking a look at them pretty much every half hour today.
I think starting next Thursday, we're going to start getting pictures of like pronto pups and corn and the yellow slide and stuff, because that's going to make people feel good to be at the state fair. We are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we are going to play the press conference that Health and Human Services Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy had earlier today in southern Minnesota. That'll be after the break. Stay right there. welcome back. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was in Rochester today to announce a new federal initiative to keep individuals with autism safe. Take a listen to what he had to say at that press conference. All right, it seems like we are having audio issues with that clip. So let me just tell you kind of what happened at that event in Rochester today. So the initiative is designed to help locate autistic people when they go missing or are considered endangered. HHS is developing the first national autism missing and endangered person alert system. So the program will involve a partnership between HHS and the U.S. Department of Justice with input from law enforcement and other groups. The goal is to create autism-specific alerts and resources for law enforcement and first responders when an autistic person goes missing. Rochester was chosen in part because it's home to the Project Lifesaver program, which already helps law enforcement locate people who may wander or become lost. The federal initiative is intended to build on those programs that are already in place and other programs like Amber Alerts, pretty similar to that, and other programs like the one in Rochester that are happening on a local level. So obviously Kennedy's visit comes as autism has become a major focus of his tenure as HHS Secretary. It sounds like we maybe do have that sound now. Grace, is that right? No? Okay, we do not. I misunderstood what I heard in my ear. So, yeah. So that's about it. That's what the Secretary was talking about today. And unfortunately, I don't think we have that sound. So, okay, she says we're going to have it in 2 seconds. So this announcement was not specifically about autism. There's also obviously been a lot of controversy about Kennedy's take on autism and where it comes from and how to possibly prevent it. This was not that. This was about people who are autistic, how to keep them safe, how to locate them when they go missing or when they are in danger. So this has nothing to do with any new autism treatment or vaccine policy. That stuff has also been making the news a lot, and Secretary RFK Jr. has been very outspoken about that, as has President Trump. But this specifically just has to do with keeping those individuals with autism safe and how to track them and find them quickly when they go missing. All right, I am hearing that we do have that sound now, so let's hear from the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was in Rochester earlier today.
Thank you all for being here. I want to thank our partners, the Department of Justice and FEMA, our state and local law enforcement partners, the Rochester Area Autism Association, and the members of the autism community who joined us today. Your experience and partnership are essential for us getting this right. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services, in partnership with DOJ and FEMA, is launching the first ever National Autism Missing Person Initiative. President Trump has made improving the lives of people with autism and their families one of his top priorities. And today we are acting on that commitment. When an autistic child or an adult goes missing, every minute matters. Approximately half of autistic individuals wander from a safe setting at some point. Wandering can happen during sensory overloads with anxiety, or when someone seeks some kind of new adventure or new experience. The consequence can be deadly. 8 autistic people die following wandering incidents each month, and drowning is the leading cause of death associated with wandering. Children with autism are 100 times more likely to drown than neurotypical children. We have a responsibility to do better when an autistic, sorry about that. When an autistic person goes missing, responders need to move immediately. They need to know how the person communicates, what risks they face, and where to search first, including nearby bodies of water and other high-risk areas. The public also needs to know quickly when it could help make a difference. America already has as much of this infrastructure as it needs to make this work. Now we need to put that infrastructure to work. HHS and DOJ and FEMA will build on existing missing and endangered person alert capabilities and FEMA's integrated public alert and warning system, IPAWS, to develop a national framework for qualifying autism-related incidents. Our goal is an autism-specific alert capability that gets critical information to authorities and the public quickly and helps bring missing persons home safely. But an alert system is not enough. We also will advance the autism-specific response protocols, improve first responder education, promote evidence-based informed search practices, and strengthen state and local implementation and improve data collection. Our mission is simple: alert faster, search smarter, and save lives. We know preparation and coordination work. Project Lifesaver here in Rochester area demonstrates what communities can accomplish when they prepare before an emergency comes along. And we just did a really extraordinary and inspiring roundtable with the Olmsted County Sheriff's Department, who's here today, and with the Rochester Police Department. And we heard about the success story behind this incredible program, and it's something that we want to promote nationally. And as most of you know, it includes telemetry devices in children, those specific kids with autism who are inclined to wander, wear a telemetry transmitter in an ankle bracelet or a wrist bracelet. And the Rochester Police Department and the Olmsted County Sheriff have had a 100% success rate in finding those children before anything bad happens to them. And that's, congratulations. You know, one of the things that we learned from that roundtable was the importance of the relationship between the police and the children, that the police are showing up in uniforms every 45 days to change the battery on the device. And it develops a rapport and a communication relationship between the child. And many of these children are very wary of strangers. They hide from police during searches. But in this case, we've found that their experience here is that they now run, they gravitate toward the police because they're familiar with the uniform. They feel safe with the police. So that relationship is a critical part of the response. We came here to learn from one of the most successful programs in the nation, and we want to know the successful approaches and help communities across America to implement these kind of effective practices in every community. Today, HHS is also taking additional steps to improve health care for autistic Americans. CMS has released a new applied behavioral analysis toolkit to help states strengthen the quality and oversight of ABA services, promote appropriate evidence-based care, and combat fraud, waste, and abuse. HRSA is expanding training on diagnostic overshadowing, which is a very, very common complaint from the parents of autistic kids, and co-occurring medical conditions, and working with health center programs to improve services for autistic individuals. An autism diagnosis should never cause a healthcare professional to overlook another related medical condition. We want clinicians to recognize those conditions earlier to provide comprehensive care. I want to be clear about what happens next. Today begins the National Autism Missing Person Alert Initiative. A new nationwide autism-specific alert is not yet active, We are developing the framework, working with our federal, local, and state partners to turn it into an effective national capability. In the meantime, if an autistic loved one goes missing, people should call 911 immediately and be ready to share critical information about communication, behavior, about the attraction to water, about familiar locations and known risks. And prepare before an emergency happens, teach water safety, secure pools and other dangerous areas. Consider alarms and location technology where appropriate. Develop an emergency plan and share it with family members, schools, and caregivers. Families deserve a government that acts with urgency, competence, and accountability. Under President Trump, that is what we intend to deliver. We will respond faster, and we will coordinate better. And we will protect autistic Americans with the urgency and the dignity that they deserve. That's how we save lives. That's how we put Americans first. And that's how we make America healthy again and safe again. Before I turn it over, I want to thank Attorney General Todd Blanche, DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, FEMA Administrator Cameron Hamilton, who's here with me today, Vince Davenport from DOJ, and the DOJ and FEMA for helping make this initiative possible. I also want to thank the Rochester Police Department. Thank you, gentlemen, and the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office.
All right, you've been listening to U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That was him earlier today in Rochester, Minnesota, discussing a new initiative that will help locate autistic people who go missing or are considered endangered. This is all based off of a Rochester-based program called Project Lifesaver. So, all right, we are going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to someone from the Minnesota Revenue Department, the commissioner, in fact, about tax rebates for all that money you're spending on school supplies. Stay right there. Welcome back. Well, going through your kids' back to school list can quickly get pricey. Those school supplies add up rapidly. Let me tell you, I'm finding that right now myself. Here to talk about how you can actually get a tax rebate for some of those items that you're buying is Minnesota's Revenue Commissioner, Paul Marquardt. Paul, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so talk to me about this program. You can actually, if you keep your receipts, this is a tax write-off.
Well, first of all, believe it or not, we're back to school. Kids are going back to school, and parents and caregivers have those expenses of all of these school supplies going back. And a lot of parents don't realize that there's a tax benefit for that. There's two programs. There's the K through 12 educational credit and the K through 12 educational subtraction for supplies that you purchase. Like it could be pens, paper, textbooks, musical equipment that you rent or buy that we know can be expensive. After school tutoring would be another one, computer equipment up to a certain amount. So there's a benefit there that can be quite significant for folks if they take advantage of that.
Okay, so who qualifies for this?
So first of all, it's for any students kindergarten through 12th grade in public school, private school, homeschool, all those would qualify. Now for the credit, which is a dollar for dollar tax cut, there's an income limitation and it phases out at about $83,000. For the subtraction, there's no income limit on that. And so you can deduct up to $2,500 of expenses, and depending on what your income is, the average is about $1,500 that parents are taking. So roughly a tax benefit there of $75 to $150.
Wow. I know you listed all kinds of things that can be considered school supplies. Is it pretty open-ended? I'm thinking like, you buy your kid a skateboard so that they can get to school, or you buy them a new baseball glove so that they can participate in PE. Like, where does the definition of school supply end?
Well, for more specifics, you can go to the Department of Revenue website and go to keyword K through 12 and give you that. But it's primarily those for just the basic functional educational things. So a baseball glove probably would not qualify, but it's those basic supplies, paper, pencil, textbooks, folders, all of those type of things, they would. And, I know that musical instruments can be expensive to rent or buy, and that's covered under these benefits.
It's these items add up quickly, as I said, as I was introing you. I know because I've been going through my kids' own school supply list, and all of a sudden it's like $1 here, $2 here. All of a sudden you spent $100. It really adds up quickly. And right now, the cost. We know that the cost of living is really high for Americans, and that a lot of people are struggling to get by. Everything is expensive. Milk is expensive. Eggs are expensive. School supplies are expensive. Why is it so important to remind people that they can get a little bit of help here?
Well, one of Governor Walz's high priorities is focusing on families and children. And it's not just the K through 12 credits here. And by the way, one of the important things for parents when dealing with these supplies is keep receipts. Put receipts in a folder and envelope, but make sure you keep those receipts that you're purchasing things. But for families and children, there's the child tax credit. There's the child dependent care credit. There's a lot of other credits that parents don't always realize is out there to help benefit. And, in the state of Minnesota, we have a very high standard deduction and a very high personal exclusion. If you have a family of 4, married couple with 2 children, the first $41,000 of income is non-taxable, because you have a standard deduction and the exclusions for your children. So it's very family friendly. But for a lot of these credits, like the one we're talking about today, it's really crucial that parents know it's out there to take advantage of those credits. And that's why I really appreciate being on today to talk about this because we try to get the word out.
Yeah, every little dollar counts, and if you can get something back when you file your tax returns, it's welcome. So yeah, keep your receipts when you go out there and buy those school supplies, and make sure that you mark that down when you're doing your taxes. So Paul Marquardt, the Minnesota Revenue Commissioner, so appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Yep. Grace Henry, I've been going through the school supply list, and it's kind of interesting because I'm looking for where the best deals are. And I bought some supplies here, I bought some supplies there. I kind of regretted buying some supplies over here because they were cheaper over here. But this is that time of year where we're all kind of scrambling.
Yeah.
To get everything.
I have memories as a kid going with my mom and my dad with the list. And you go to one place and they never have everything that you need, so you have to go to the other place. And
the beauty now is that you have the apps.
Or Amazon. We didn't have Amazon back in the day.
So I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and then I went to the Target app to do a pickup order so that I'm not going through the aisles going, oh no, they're out of this, they're out of that.
Yeah,
I can
that's
do
a
it on
good
the
idea.
app. Yeah, they do it on the, and they show you how much they have in stock. But it was interesting because I'd already ordered a lot of my son's stuff on Amazon, and then found Target had way better prices.
Oh, interesting.
You can do the same on the Walmart app. You can do an order pickup on the Walmart app. Same thing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I remember they used to have, in Tennessee at least, we had printed out for every school district, they had their school districts lists in person at Target. So you didn't even have to have it printed. They had it there in the store. They had a binder.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
who
who's your teacher?
Yeah, I know. And at Target they had that. And I thought that was really nifty, but
Listen, I really feel for the parent. My kids wear a uniform, but I feel for the parents who now are having to do clothing shopping too. I'm like, listen, I'm here 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Yeah. And then you go on the weekend, it's actually like Armageddon in there, and you get overstimulated. I tried to go to TJ Maxx last weekend. I had to get out of there because it was crazy.
Well, I will say the apps and being able to shop on your phone has made it so much easier, because I remember when I was a kid, it was like what you described, when we're driving to different stores.
Yeah.
Here is the thing that I struggle with. I do think that there are more expensive items that are cooler, like the branded stuff or the characters on it. And I'm like, well, I want my kid to fit in and I want him to have the cool stuff, but also
you want to save a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm sending him with the cheap, no characters on his stuff.
Right.
And then you just are like, I don't know, it's kind of this struggle, with your kids where it's like I was telling you guys, I'm like, gosh, they each needed 3 boxes of crayons.
That's insane.
And we have a pile of crayons at home. I was like, can't I just
put them in a Ziploc baggie?
Yes.
There you go.
I was like, can I just put a rubber band around 24 crayons and send him back with the crayons that I sent him with last year that he didn't use?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You wanted to have the fresh box with everyone else.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess that's where online shopping becomes helpful, because you don't necessarily need to bring your kid with you to the store. Because when I was little and I would go to Target, I would want,
the
Disney
expensive
princess
character,
folders.
yeah.
I'd want all the locker decorations. I'd want the fancy pencils and the fancy pens. But if you just buy it and don't even give them a choice, that's probably a smart thing to do.
So I did this, I just, a couple days ago, I broke down and I bought, they were cheap on Amazon, but I broke down and I bought the labels that say their name, with a cute little flower and colored print. I'm like the mom who's like, Sharpie. Writes their name in Sharpie, sorry, nothing fancy. This year, I was like, you know what? My kids deserve better. So
that's sweet.
I did, they were $6 for a pack of 60.
I love it.
But I was
love
like,
that. No,
but that was I was like, this is so unnecessary,
but
right?
it's whimsical and it's fun. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's probably 3 I don't know.
I should have stuck to the Sharpie.
You should have.
My kids, it builds character.
It does, because my parents would not buy the book covers. My dad would take old old like shopping bags and wrap those.
That's what I would
around.
do.
Yeah,
I would use well, you could use Christmas wrapping paper.
Yep.
Or
we use Trader Joe's bags.
Okay, Trader Joe's bags, yes, like grocery bags, and then we would just draw on them.
Yeah.
But like the rich kids, they had like the covers that you like bought. Like the pre-bought book covers. I don't think, are kids even reading
I don't think
textbooks?
so. I don't think they read on their iPads.
Any kids
It's
watching
sad.
are like, a book cover, what? What is that? Well, back in my day. All right, we are going to take a quick break, but when we get back, Emily Pofel, one of our Fox 9 reporters, is going to be on to talk about some news, allegations this week that federal immigration agents may not have adhered to a federal order to stay out of places of worship. So it's a little bit of a complicated story. She's going to have all the details right after the break. Welcome back. There's new allegations this week that federal immigration agents may have violated a court order by conducting surveillance inside Minneapolis churches. Our reporter, Emily Pofel, is covering this today and joins us now to break it all down. Okay, Emily, so what was this injunction that went into place, and why was it put in place by this judge?
Sure. So it was a judge actually out of Massachusetts, that put this order in place in February. And it stemmed from the conversation surrounding keeping immigration agents out of quote unquote protected spaces. So churches and schools mainly. And a judge ruled that there are churches across the country that are protected spaces that immigration agents should not be going into to perform any sort of enforcement with that is, barring some pretty extenuous circumstances. And that went into effect in February. One church here, University Baptist Church, that I'm actually nearby now, was a part of that ruling. So a judge said that that church is a protected space and that there should not be immigration enforcement happening inside. Well, last week there was this big document dump about how ICE agents operated during and after Metro Surge, and some of the surveillance that they did on the community. And in those documents, it was revealed that an undercover agent went inside University Baptist Church when this injunction was in place. So now the church is coming out and saying, basically telling the court, hey, the federal government broke the rules here.
I'm curious, just to take it back a little bit, had federal agents entered some churches, maybe a church in Massachusetts, and that's why this injunction went into place, or was this preemptive?
I think it was something that we were seeing happen in different states and cities across the country. So this started being part of the conversation back in December, really, and then the injunction was filed. The judge ruled for the injunction in February.
Okay, so were these churches aware? I'm assuming no, but were these churches aware that there were undercover federal agents attending meetings or services or whatever they were doing at their church?
So the court documents in University Baptist Church's case say that they did not know, they were not aware. And it's pretty interesting. It shows that the federal agent that was inside the church was actually wearing a wire and had attended a self-defense training that was put on actually all the way in May. And so it seems that churches here didn't know that undercover federal agents were going into their spaces as late as May, and even in some cases, according to court documents, June. I spoke with another church that it was revealed in these court documents a federal agent was in, and they also said that they had no idea that they were being surveilled in this way.
Is there any possibility of repercussions because these agents violated this injunction?
Well, that's what the University Baptist Church is kind of alerting the court to. Not clear yet on what those potential, punishments could be, but we know that the court doesn't always move very quickly. So there are hearings scheduled in this case where all of these documents came from. This case that was really made public last week. There are hearings scheduled in that. So we will be hearing from a judge just based on, if the federal government has to release any more documentation about this surveillance campaign that they were undergoing. That part, though, the extent to which there's any sort of disciplinary action or punishment is yet to be seen.
So I know you talked to one church that found out that they had government agents attending meetings at their church. What's their reaction to finding out that there were undercover agents in their building?
Yeah, the reverend I spoke to at the First Universalist Church in Minneapolis, she was disappointed, she said, but she also, surprisingly enough said, well, if there was a federal agent undercover, if there, are still federal agents undercover coming into my church, I hope that they are, walking out, taking away something, as far as like a lesson or feeling like part of the community or the congregation. Of course, her number one priority is keeping everyone in her congregation safe, but I think it's hard to find outrage in religious leaders. They're very welcoming of everyone for the most part. Of course, the surveillance was not something that they were anticipating, and keeping the congregation safe is number one priority. But yeah, it was an interesting conversation.
I'm curious why that church? Did she say that their congregation is largely immigrant, or, does she have any idea why they would have targeted her church?
Yeah, it's pretty clear actually with the churches that we've seen that were targeted, at least so far in the court documents. The through line is that all of them were hosting meetings surrounding, or either like organizing directly in response to Metro Surge, or they were holding meetings led by leftist or liberal groups that were tied to activity during Metro Surge. So that's why the federal agents, at least from what we can tell in the documents, kept an eye on these specific locations.
Okay, and lastly, have you reached out to DHS? Have they responded to these allegations that they went into these churches when they weren't supposed to?
Yeah, I reached out to DHS about the surveillance overall, because it's not just churches that were impacted. We're focusing on that today, but DHS also was looking into labor unions and other protesters. And DHS just sent back a comment saying that they don't comment on investigations or their tactics.
Okay, well, you tried. Emily Pofel, you're going to have a full report at 5 o'clock tonight?
Yep, that's right.
All right. Okay, you can watch her full report on this story during our 5 o'clock news on Fox 9. Emily, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We've had a beautiful week of weather. I got out golfing yesterday and it was perfect. It was overcast, a little bit of sprinkles, but way better. I'll take that over heat and direct sun. So Erica Mrazek joins us now. Erica, thanks for that great golf weather yesterday. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we missed you in here.
I know. You know, sometimes I take a day off. So
just every once in a while.
Yeah, I had a great, the charity that I work with, an amputee nonprofit that I love and support. I'm on the board of Wiggle Your Toes, does incredible work in the amputee community. And we had our big fundraiser yesterday. So yeah, I was out golfing in Prior Lake at the Wilds. Lovely course down there. And we had tons of fun, raised a lot of money. And like I said, the weather was pretty perfect. Like I don't mind getting, there was a couple like very small bursts, I think is what you weather people call it. Bursts.
Of showers?
Bursts, yeah, like little sprinkles and,
yeah,
and little bursts of rain shower.
Yeah.
I'll take that over heat and sun all day. I've done that tournament in like 90-degree heat in the sun. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you guys had some good weather for it, and it sounds so awesome.
Yes.
Today is another good day for some golfing for the most part because it's beautiful all day long. You'll notice the setup, there's a low pressure center towards the east with a cold front to the south of us. And this is the cold front that brought us severe weather yesterday. But now that we're behind it, things are looking a lot quieter and a lot nicer. But you'll notice people in front of the cold front in places like Illinois and Iowa, they are seeing, and parts of Wisconsin too, they are seeing some strong to severe storms because they're in front of the cold front. So that was us yesterday. But now that we're behind it, it is completely quiet and a different story here, so it's just gorgeous. You'll notice barely any showers across the state, just a few up towards the north, and then there is the chance that these can continue to go south and east and bring very isolated showers and non-severe storms to parts of northern Minnesota throughout the afternoon, evening, and early overnight. But those are few and far between, so most people are going to stay dry. It looks beautiful over White Bear Lake, a few patchy clouds, but it's a good evening for some boating too, if you want to do that to start the weekend. Temperatures today so far reached about 79, so running right around average, a little bit below by about a degree. And then at the moment, still at 79 and mostly 70s for those current temperatures, but 81 for Alexandria, also 81 for Hinckley, and 82 for Winona. And then temperatures tonight are going to get down to the 60s, so they'll cool down to kind of what you had last night. A northwest breeze. Yesterday this was from the south and southwest, so that's why it was more humid, but since it's from the north and northwest, the dew points are lower, so it's feeling more comfortable. And the dew points for the weekend are also going to stay nice and not muggy because the breeze is still moving in from the north and northwest. So next few days, beautiful. This is the most picture perfect weekend you could basically ever have. Saturday and Sunday going to be sunny, going to be warm, high temperatures, low 80s. The dew points will be very comfortable and no chance for showers over the weekend. So just perfect. So go outside and enjoy your 2 days. And then after that, still looking quite nice for the most part. Highs will be in the low 80s. And then once you get into the Monday, Tuesday timeframe, there could be a chance for a shower or two. But overall, it's trending dry. And then for the State Fair, high temperatures look to start in the 80s for the first few days of that for the high temperatures, Courtney.
Okay, that's right. We're almost to the point where we're going to have to get a fair forecast every day, Erica.
Oh, I will have that for you.
Wonderful. Beautiful weekend ahead. Thanks, Erica. Appreciate you. All right, let's do a check of our headlines because we haven't done that in a bit. Minneapolis firefighters are investigating a deadly garage fire in North Minneapolis. Crews were called to a home on Colfax Avenue North early this morning and found a man dead inside a detached garage. His identity has not been released, and fire officials say he was not associated with the home's residents. The cause of the fire and circumstances of the death are under investigation. Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was in Rochester today to announce a new federal initiative aimed at helping find autistic people who go missing. The program will use existing alert systems, including FEMA's public warning network, to develop autism-specific alerts and training for first responders. Officials say the initiative was modeled in part on Rochester's successful Project Lifesaver program, which is why they choose to make the announcement there this morning. The Timberwolves and the Lynx are getting a new owner. Just a year after Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez took control, billionaire investor Mark Stott is buying Lowry's majority stake at $4.5 billion. A-Rod will remain an owner while Lowry will keep a minority stake. The deal still needs NBA approval. Grace Henry, I know that your pup is your beloved only child.
My only child.
A lot of people are sending us photos of their pets today. So we like to call this Feel Good Friday, where we put the shout out, we put the call out, say, hey, send us some photos that make you feel good on this Friday. Chester's hanging out on the couch. Chester looks quite comfortable there on the couch.
Chester's adorable.
Yeah, Chester's a cute little kitty. You know, my kids really want a cat, Grace, but my husband's allergic.
Do it.
My husband's allergic.
Oh,
like,
I'm allergic
like
too.
Deathly allergic.
Hey, I'm allergic too, like very badly. You can tell him to take allergy shots.
Oh my goodness.
I
Hey,
know.
the kids want a cat, so could you just suffer and get some shots, and hopefully it turns out okay, but maybe your eyeballs will just bulge out of your head because they're so irritated. Here's Rocco enjoying a massive pup cup. Oh.
Yum, that looks good.
How much do those things cost?
I think some businesses give them out for free.
Okay, then I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, Shepherd, I am not buying you a pup cup.
What about
I've got,
like $1.50? They're never going to be that expensive.
I got two kids to take care of, Grace, and things are expensive these days. Shepherd can stick to regular treats that I get on sale at Home Goods. Okay. Jana from St. Paul. This is Buddy enjoying some watermelon. So this must not have been taken yesterday because yesterday was overcast when it was nice and hot out. Okay, Buddy has got a harness on, so Buddy apparently likes to walk the neighborhood, I guess.
If I saw Buddy, that would make my day. If I saw Buddy out for a walk, I would love that.
Jana and Buddy seem to live in St. Paul, so don't know what neighborhood, but one day you might see him. Remy and his fellow party dogs. Okay.
I love this. They're super cute.
Luna in an igloo cooler. I love that igloos, by the way, have like come back in trend, right? Like igloos are popular again. These were like back in the 90s, these were popular, and then they went out for a while. Now igloos made a comeback. Have you noticed that, Grace?
Yeah, I sure have. I think...
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Is it something I said? Of course it is.
Oh, Paul's just making me laugh back here.
Of course it is.
It's Feel Good Friday. What else are we supposed to do?
Paul came in my ear accusing. I don't even want to say it.
Oh, go ahead and say it. I can't say it. I'll start laughing.
I think he said that I named the pig Paul. I did not. It's because I would like.
Because the pig was from St. Paul.
Thank you, Grace.
Buddy the pig here. Let me see if I can find Buddy again.
Thank you, Grace.
We can prove
Buddy, Jana is from St. Paul, and I was saying Jana and her buddy.
Yeah,
from St. Paul, and I accidentally said Jana and Paul. Paul just thought I was naming the pig Paul.
Well, Paul's a great name, though.
And he is a very cute
Here's
pig.
one last thing for Feel Good Friday, and this to wrap up this segment.
Aww.
Look, they got halos. Our friends Amber and Simone.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thanks, Robert. Do you think Robert will put devil ears on us, Grace?
Probably, or make us look like pigs to get back at us for,
He's on Paul's side.
Probably.
Okay.
Most people are.
Well, anyway, send us your Feel Good Friday moments. It could be your pets. It could be the newscast you're watching. It could be your spouse. It could be a location you love. Maybe you're camping this weekend. Anything. We want to see it. We want to see what makes you feel good this Friday, what you're looking forward to enjoying this weekend. Fox9.com/allday, and you can upload those photos for us. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. As our kids head back to school, we have to remember some of those maybe not essential on your school checklist things, but just as important, like hearing tests and making sure that we're protecting our kids' ears throughout the school year as well. Here to give us some great advice is the Chief Hearing Health Officer with Starkey, Dr. Dave Fabry. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Thank you for having me.
So, what do you think of when you think about kids going back to school and prioritizing hearing?
Yeah, it's a great question because I do include it on the checklist, and I think all parents should, whether their children are in a school or whether they're homeschooled. We need to think about over the summer, did the kids get exposed to any loud sounds? Did they get ill at all? There's a whole host of things that can affect hearing, and especially during the busy summer months when we're not going to school, it's a great time to take stock of all of that as September comes around. It's hard to believe September's already here, but as we start going back into school, to think about, is my child, if they don't have a hearing loss, are they ready? But also those children who already have been diagnosed with hearing loss and wear hearing aids perhaps, are they ready to take on the school year and hear better, live better, as we say, by being and ensuring that they're hearing to the very best of their ability, that the hearing aids are appropriate for them, that they have all of the technology that is available to them when they enter the new year.
Okay, so when, like my incoming first grader just went and did his yearly check heading into the school year, and they checked his hearing.
Yes.
Is that good enough, or should I be seeking out a specialist?
Did he pass the
He
screening?
passed.
Yeah, as long as he passed the screening. Now, Minnesota recommends kindergarten, I think it's 1st, 3rd, 5th, 8th, and 11th grade. And so they do it an interval every couple years or so. That's reasonable for kids that are asymptomatic, that don't show any signs of hearing loss, but just a check-in. But then in addition, if your child is showing some indication that they aren't hearing as well as they could, they're not turning when you speak to them, that maybe they're even acting out in terms of like behavioral problems. They might just be bored because they're not hearing everything. And at those intervals that are defined and recommended by the state and tied to the school year, I think that's enough as long as they pass and as long as they don't show any symptoms that would be suggestive of a hearing impairment after they pass the screen.
And there are some, obviously they're on a break from school, so they don't have teachers, paying attention all the time. Because a lot of times teachers are the first
really
ones.
good.
Yeah, they're
They
the
often
first
point out,
ones
yes.
to point out that they think there may be something there. So they've been out of school for those months. But also, like, the summer can come with, you mentioned illness that can impact hearing. I'm thinking like swimming, fireworks. There's a lot of things that can impact your hearing that go on in the summer, right?
You're on fire, yeah. So there's the fair coming up, and there are fireworks, and there's concerts. Those are all things that we need to be thinking about. And even when we're talking here, we have an application called SoundCheck Live, and it will report, like people say, well, how do I know what's too loud when I'm doing those activities? If your kid mows your grass and you have a combustion engine rather than an EV, a lawnmower, that can be too loud if they're not wearing hearing protection. And so this SoundCheck Live app is a free download. There's no advertising on it, but it's designed specifically to report. Right now when I'm talking at about 80 decibels, my voice. If I did that for 8 hours without a break, that would actually be on the verge of considered to be a little too loud, but I'm talking at a little higher level for this. But the app will tell you what the level is and tell you whether your child is at risk of noise damage. And it's a good check-in in lieu of having to have any specialty equipment. We all carry our phones with us all the time, and it's a nice way of saying, maybe that is a little bit too loud. Especially, it's all related to the duration, how close you are to it, and how loud it is. And that all factors into whether they are at risk. And like you said, summer activities that are noisy, mowing the grass, mowing the lawn. If the kids are older and they're engaging in noisy sports, even motorcycles, things like that, can all be problematic. And we want to make sure that we prevent hearing loss when it's not related to a disease process. And then you mentioned swimming. Swimmer's ear is often the bane of a parent's existence in Minnesota because kids are in and out of the water. And if they're lakes, sometimes they can develop an external infection or a middle ear infection. Even that temporary loss of hearing that is related to fluid behind the eardrum can translate into learning delays.
I'm curious because I'm with little kids. It's like, my ear hurts. I never know if it's, I never know if it's just like they really want some cherry Tylenol or if it's real. So I went ahead and I went on Amazon and I bought, what is it, an otoscope?
An otoscope, yeah. I
Yes.
was just going to recommend that.
So I'm curious if you would recommend that, if that's okay for a parent to take a peek, because sometimes I think, well, let me take a peek and save myself a trip to the pediatrician. If I'm not sure, then I definitely go.
Yes.
But I'm curious if you're okay with parents owning one of those and being able to take a peek.
Yes. Number one, your pediatrician, your audiologist, and the ENT doctor will be grateful, because as the parent, if you're going to do this, rather than this professional in a white coat coming at them to put that in their ears, many children are really apprehensive about that. So if the parent does it and shows that it's not threatening, it's not going to hurt them, they trust you, hopefully, and that they don't worry about that. But a couple cautions, I guess, is that you want to get one that you can't stick it in the ear far enough to hurt. You need to learn a little bit about looking in the ear, and the most important thing that we talk about is bracing. Just bracing against the side of the head in case they do move quickly. You can just, you won't hurt them in a significant way, but it can cause a little discomfort if it scratches in the ear canal. But I think it's a great idea to look in the ear and just be able to see. You're not going to be able to do it like the pediatrician does, but to see if you can see all the way down. Is there anything in the ear that the young kids are fond of sticking things in their ears, and that could cause.
I've been there before too.
Yeah. And so.
Oh, there's a toy in there.
Yeah, you're not doing this for diagnostic purposes in a clinical setting, but you're doing this to see what might be causing discomfort or pain to your child, versus just is it something that they're using as an excuse to get a treat.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. I do want to ask you about kids who have existing hearing loss.
Yes.
Because, every year is a new teacher, a new classroom, new peers. What do you suggest to parents when they are navigating this new school year? How do they advocate for their kid and make sure their kid is getting all the support that they need?
It's a fantastic question, because teachers, if they know that they have children or a child in their classroom who's mainstreamed, it's really important to meet with them. Take advantage of the opportunity to meet with them as early as possible in that orientation process to a new classroom and a new teacher, because kids with hearing loss should benefit from preferential seating toward the front of the classroom. Try to reduce background noise in the classroom whenever possible. See if they already have things in the classroom, in the school, because they're aware of kids with hearing loss need some of that protection damping to minimize and reduce background noise and reverberation, so that they can really be in an optimal learning situation. And so talk with the teachers, see what their experience is in working with kids who have hearing loss, because it's sometimes, people misunderstand that, think that they have to shout to someone who has a hearing loss. It's not. Shouting isn't what's appropriate. And I don't think there's any teacher that hasn't worked with kids in the classroom with hearing loss, but you just want to do a check-in and make them aware, he or she has a hearing loss. They wear hearing aids. Nowadays, hearing aids can even have a light on them, so that you know whether if they're young children and in their classroom, that the battery is functioning, that they're powered, and alert the teacher as to whether they have the type of a device that will show that it is powered versus if the battery's drained. There are remote microphones that can be used in the classroom, where the teacher will wear a microphone around their neck, and it transmits directly to the child.
That's great.
And it enables that signal, the voice, to noise to be enhanced, so that they have an optimal learning environment, even with a significant hearing loss.
Now, are these devices that the state has to cover, or are these? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. In many cases, the school transmitters for elementary and junior high, unfortunately, hearing loss still carries a stigma with it, and kids don't want to be different, and I don't blame them. They don't want to have special instruments. What we've been trying to do at Starkey is to make hearing aids a little bit cooler, to enable kids to be able to stream from their phone. I mean, it's remarkable. My daughter's 34 now. I have grandkids that are 3 and 1, and so I'm at a different stage of life. But looking at where the technology is today versus where it was, when my daughter was young, is remarkable. But there's all sorts of technology that has developed that now, the age of the first, how old are you going to let your child get a phone?
Oh, well, hopefully 16. I'm so scared of those phones.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much distraction, and I saw something the other day that said the average American now is almost online on social media or streaming or on their phone like 3 hours a day, which is remarkable.
Easy.
And what I worry about is that teenagers, as they get older, so young ones, I would say that you can stream from the phone or an iPad, and you can use it. I know many schools are using iPads, and they can stream from that to enhance any audio that's involved in the instruction. As we get older, though, and I think it is important not just to focus on the pediatric in elementary or even middle school, but by the time we get to middle and high school, 1 in 8 teens has a measurable hearing loss already now due to preventable reasons. And the prevention is cutting down on this time and listening at loud levels.
So how do you suggest talking to your kids about that? Because I know a lot of kids, especially teenagers, they go in their room, they shut their door, and they're on their video games, and they have their headphones on, and you as a mom or dad might not know how loud they've got it. So how do you talk to them about that? And is there a way to limit that stuff, you know?
Yeah, there is, and it's gotten a lot more difficult. When my daughter was young, I was living down in Rochester working at Mayo, and I was the hearing dad, and parents all said, how do I know when loud is too loud? And we didn't have apps like we do now. The app can work well. You can put parental limits on a smartphone so that it won't exceed a level that is damaging. You can buy headphones for the younger kids who want to have that ability to stream from their iPad. It's amazing. My 3-year-old is, they're all very adept at tech, but you want to limit the output. And some of the child-based headsets have a built-in limit so that you don't even if the iPhone or the Android phone will go louder, the headphones won't deliver that output that is a damaging level. So there are things like that can be done. And then I just think trying to limit the amount of time and the levels. The teens, it gets a little tougher because they can figure the workaround to parental controls. But we know that it just as proximity, the level and the duration of sound, whether it's streamed through a phone or whether it's at a concert, can all be damaging levels. And we really want to prevent that because while hearing loss is often perceived as an older person's condition, it is true that the older you are, the more likely you are to have a hearing loss. Hearing loss can occur at any age, from birth to 100. And what we want to do is limit the things. The World Health Organization says that up to 60% of childhood hearing loss is preventable. It's something that is due to the disease process. It isn't all just genetic and unpreventable. And so what we really want to do is acknowledge that we want to monitor at those intervals that we mentioned. Every child in Minnesota, before they leave the hospital, is supposed to have a newborn hearing screening. That doesn't guarantee that your child will be vaccinated, inoculated against hearing loss in the future. Hearing loss can occur with something like an elevated temperature. 103, 104 degrees for an hour or two can already cause some hearing loss.
Wow. Yeah, so that's why it's important to go get those regular hearing checks.
Intervals. Yeah. Take advantage of that, as I said, whether you're in the public school system, whether you're homeschooled, whether, no matter where you are, make sure to take advantage of those recommended intervals. And then even more important, if you're noticing, because parents are the ones who are really in tune, and teachers also are very much in tune to children in their classroom because they're experts at working with kids in the child learning environment. Pay attention to that and trust your judgment, because you know more than you think you know about your kid not paying attention, not turning around when you call their voice, not coming when the way the other children in the home might hear you and calling for dinner or calling that you got to leave to get ready to go in the car. Pay attention to that, because those subtle things really serve as important cries for help to then intervene with hearing aids. And in pediatric, for sure, if you don't intervene quickly, it can lead to childhood learning delays.
Wow. Before you go, I also want to ask you about when you are, because we were talking about the classroom and starting in a new classroom, how do you suggest that parents talk to their kids, like if they've got a kid in their class who wears a hearing aid? How do you suggest the other parents in the class talk to their kids about it, just so that that child can feel included?
I think that's such an important point, because we know that stigma remains, whether it's pediatric or geriatric, it remains a factor. And And kids at that age are so vulnerable to criticism and taunting and bullying if they're different in any way, shape, or form. Hearing loss is often an invisible disability, but when they're wearing hearing aids now, the other kids see it. And I guess one way, just off the top of my head, that I would think about it is, if you have a family member, a grandparent, a dad or mom that wears hearing aids, you can say, look, Grandpa Joe wears hearing aids, and you love him, right, unconditionally. And now I know that there's a new student in your classroom who's going to wear hearing aids too, and they're no different than anyone else. They just have some difficulty hearing and understanding the teacher. And you know how, remember we said, when you're going to talk to Grandpa Joe, say his name first. Try to talk at him, and try to look at him when you're talking. And he or she will do just fine, but they're no different. Mm-hmm. You may associate it with another family member that would sort of, if you will, normalize it a little bit to their life. But just that's such an important point, to just sort of don't make them fearful, don't make them think that they're different. Just accept them the way they would any other kid in the classroom. And we shouldn't have to talk about it in 2026.
I know.
But unfortunately, especially kids, that out of the mouth of babes, they can be so blunt in their observations.
I know it. I've been in those situations with my own kids, and normalizing is so important.
Yeah.
Just like, how I say it is like, well, how we're running an errand? Well, they're running an errand too. They just have a different mobility device. Like if it's someone in a wheelchair, if it's a hearing aid, I say, well, how you and I hear us talking right now?
They just need a little help.
They just have a different way of hearing.
Yeah, they just need
They have
a
a
little
different kind of ears.
Yes,
So
exactly.
normalize it.
Yes, and we were talking before the segment. There are some great children's books. Another way to normalize it is just, I love and I long for the day when they make movies where there is a character in the movie wearing hearing aids that isn't critical to the plot. Like A Quiet Place and some of these movies, the hearing aid or hear devices used in those movies all played a fundamental role in the plot. I just want to see people who are disabled through one mechanism or another just be in the movie and not have it be essential to the plot. And we're starting to see it a little bit with hearing aids. We need more of that because we need to recognize that our differences are our strengths.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more. Dr. Dave Fabry from Starkey, really appreciate you making the time. All great advice as we head into the school year.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We got Don Mitchell in the house to preview Ravens versus Vikings this Saturday at noon. Crept up on us.
This whole preseason has crept on us. You know, it's so fast. The Giants came and went, and then just having the joint practices after your first preseason game kind of makes it a little more spicy and interesting. And then to play them again, you know, after having 2 joint practices is going to be kind of cool tomorrow.
So is training camp done now?
So for the public.
Okay.
Yesterday was the last official day. So I guess you can technically still call the rest of the way training camp till preseason is over. But training camp, as we know it, where the fans come out and all this stuff, that was done yesterday. But so now we can try to get settled into our new routine.
So you got to preview Saturday a little bit because the Ravens were doing joint practice with the Vikings. Obviously, they're not going to show all their cards in practice, but I'm curious if anything stood out to you in those joint practices that kind of give you insight into what may go down on Saturday.
Yeah, well, so what went down on the joint practice fields, it will be so different than what goes down on Saturday. Only because, but I think it's so valuable, because the starters are not going to play Saturday, right? But you need someone like a Justin Jefferson to get in sync with a Kyler Murray, and they started doing that. And everyone says, well, they've been practicing for a while, but not going up against that defense like the Ravens, where they really had to try to get in sync, lockstep, get the timing down. Like Justin was telling us yesterday, listen, every new quarterback that comes in, I teach them, trust me, throw me open. Like throw it into a tight window, whatever. You got to trust me. I'll get there. You know, like don't hesitate. So getting on that same window of trust and timing and all of that with Kyler, with a different defense, you know, that doesn't know your scheme. You don't know them. It's the Ravens, and they're coming at you, even though it is a practice. He said that was really good. So I like that.
I am curious. I'm sure he's not, you know, they're so like polite and political, and they don't want to, you know, ruffle any feathers. But I am curious just from what, so I'm sure he didn't say much, but like what you've seen, do you think JJ and Kyler are going to be a good team? Because that chemistry is going to be so important. And, you know, we want to keep JJ happy. And if JJ's not happy, not good, right?
So you mean JJ as in Justin and not JJ McCarthy, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. For
Jets.
a long time, we're like JJ Jets. You know, this is a very small, and I've said this before, it's a very small window when you have a wide receiver and a talent of the caliber of Justin Jefferson.
Right.
And you got to keep him happy. Up until this point, he said all the right things. He's been the ultimate franchise player, ultimate teammate, ultimate, you know, employee, if you will. But yeah, I mean, he's a receiver. He's meant to receive. That means get someone to throw him the ball. So you want that. And we have seen that in camp, especially in the joint practices, but they're really emphasizing the Kyler to Jets connection, as they should. And then when it comes to Saturday, Kevin O'Connell said, you will see a lot of J.J. McCarthy. And someone said, will he start? And he says, well, I don't really want to say that yet, but I'm guessing he would. So that's basically, we'll probably see J.J. McCarthy start, how long he'll play, see if they get Carson Wentz some snaps. And they said they also want to get Max Brosner some snaps too. So we'll see what goes down. But I think they really want to see what they can get out of J.J. Right now that they said he's the number 2, but he wants the quarterback room to be competitive, and we'll see where things go from there. That, for me, leaves the door open. We'll see where things go from there. You know what I mean? I mean, like, whenever someone goes, he's my guy, he's never his guy. You know, that's just how sports is.
Yeah.
But he says, JJ's the number 2, but I want it to be competitive, and we'll see how things shake out. So it's not done.
I mean, it could be tight between JJ and Carson Wentz as far as competing to be that backup, you know?
And I've said this in the past, like the guys like the Sean Mannions and that's now I don't know what Nolan Teasley wants to do for his number 2, but traditionally the Vikings had that guy that's been kind of heady, you know, like the mature, sage, long in the tooth kind of backup quarterback that can really help that, you know, number 1. You know, Carson Wentz kind of fits that bill, but if JJ is a guy that they really think, who's our next best bet to win if it's not Kyler Murray, and if it's JJ, then that's who it's going to be. So we'll have to wait and see.
Randy Moss was at practice the other day. Did he give the guys any advice?
Oh, have you seen the soundbite with Miles Price? Oh my gosh, you have to tune in. I'll have it for you at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I'll probably begin tonight. It's that good. Miles Price was just talking about, he sat right next to me. he was telling me, well, how come on this play you didn't do this? And I'm like, oh my God, well, I'm going to do that. Like, and he was like,
He was
eating off my
starstruck.
plate. He was starstruck, and it was just unabashed, like pure gold of how he talked about Randy. And even KO said, Randy talks to me more now than when we were teammates, because they were teammates on the Patriots.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So just briefly, Kevin talks about his brief stint with the Patriots, but Randy was there at the time. But he says, we talk now than we did back then, but he said it was his goal when he became head coach here to have Randy around the team a little bit more, drop these pearls of wisdom, talk to the wide receivers and say, hey, this is what I saw in this, and this is what you should do. And so he was in the wide receivers room having good conversations with these guys. But let me tell you, Miles Price, oh my goodness, you want just the look on his face. So many people, when I retweeted it out last night, they said he's my new favorite Viking now.
Just because he was so cute about Randy Moss.
Right. Yep, he did not hold back. It was perfect, and you could tell that it just meant so much. Can you imagine just having the freak there for 2 days to go into these meetings and stuff is invaluable for some of these young guys.
I wonder, like, from a coaching perspective, they just see him as like veteran, like kind of like a fatherly presence that maybe can influence them.
Yeah, fatherly, yes, but also real. Like, this is the guy that's in the Hall of Fame. You know, this is the guy that's been there, done that. This is the guy that probably has forgotten more about football than some of these guys are just starting to learn, I mean, that's an untapped resource that can come and talk to your guys. Just like Chris Carter when he was talking to Justin Jefferson. I mean, they just soak this all in. I mean, these guys played great football for a long time. So.
I just love that Randy's so committed to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, this is his team. This will always be home. He played for other teams, like you said, the Patriots. I just love that he is purple till he dies.
Yes, and the only wish I have for Randy Moss, and he has this for himself, is that he got a Super Bowl ring. He had everything else but that Super Bowl ring. But
well, I hope JJ gets his.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Okay, Jets.
Yes, Justin Jefferson. So it is confusing. Like, we shouldn't have two JJs. It's confusing.
Well, so that's when Justin said, "I'm Jets."
Okay.
I'm Jets. So he just goes, just remember his bling.
Yeah, his airplane.
With the plane.
Yeah.
He's Jets. Jay Jettas.
That's a whole other segment talking about the bling he wears on the field. It's
Love
like, my goodness.
That's the only thing that's changed about him. He's the only bona fide superstar that has not changed. If anything, he's gotten better every time. Like, he's better with the media. He's better with the fans. He's a better teammate. He's better on the field. The only thing that's changed with Justin Jefferson is better jewelry.
Oh my gosh, better. He's wearing like 10 people's yearly income around his neck. It's wild. Yeah, I wish I had the same jewelry connection that he did. It's quite impressive. Okay, noon kickoff at US Bank Stadium. Will the game be on Fox 9?
Yes, Vikings Game Day Live beforehand. We'll also have post-game show after. So
11 a.m.
down there, and then at the game, and then come back to the studio. So
You're
rapid
busy.
transit.
Yeah, you're busy. You're going to have to put the game on your radio while you're driving, because you're going to have to miss the end of the game. Okay. Don Mitchell, thanks so much for your preview of the game. Really appreciate it. Excited to have US Bank Stadium back to football.
A lot of young guys fighting for spots, so there's still a lot to pay attention to. A lot of these rookies fighting for jobs. So
yeah, great. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. welcome back. An Eden Prairie-based nonprofit started by a couple of teens is hoping to make fishing more accessible to youth everywhere. Joining us now to talk about their organization Fish Hut and their other organization Build a Reef, William and Vic Tan join us now. William and Vic, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us on. It's nice to meet you. My name is Vic.
And my name is William.
Oh, you guys are adorable. Okay, so tell us what Fish Hut is.
Yeah, so Fish Hut is an organization that my brother and I co-founded. And the main goal of Fish Hut is to get youth into the outdoors and to experience the sport of fishing. And we provide this at absolutely no cost to any of the participants. We're in over 6 states now, with Minnesota being our largest state, and we're looking to expand and grow even more in the future.
So you guys you put together like tackle boxes, from what I understand, and then leave them at like places like YMCA's for kids to pick up and take home and hopefully take out to the lake or the river and fish. Is that right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Basically, they're called fish huts. They have generally a telescopic rod and everything a kid needs to have to go fishing. And we're actually experimenting with these cool 3D printed rods. I designed them myself, and these are fully 3D printed with just the reel on them. And I caught a bass on them. I also caught a sunfish on them in like 3 seconds. I caught maybe like a 2-pound bass. The rod was bending like crazy, but these are actually really strong, and they're fully 3D printed from a Bamboo Labs H2C printer. So the precision there is really nice, and there's screws on it, so all of this fits perfectly together into a working rod. And that's something we're experimenting with, where we're going to be placing 3D printed rods to expand these different opportunities, so all these different kids can just get out and start fishing.
Oh my goodness, and I'm seeing here you guys were on the cover of Time magazine for kids?
Oh yeah, that was an incredible opportunity, and we're really, really grateful to get this kind of press around our mission, and just hopefully keep on expanding it and, you know, have more people know about it so more kids can come to our events, as well as use the fish huts and experience the joy of fishing.
So what is it about fishing? I imagine it's something that the two of you love to do. My son lives and dies to fish. Let me tell you, he would be down at the river or the lake every single day if you let him. So I imagine that you two are much like him. You love fishing. Why did you think it was so important to make fishing accessible to other kids?
Yeah, so fishing has been a key part of my brother and I's life for a long, long time now. I want to say almost 11 years. So I started fishing when I was around 5 or 6 years old, and it's been a passion of mine ever since. And even during high school and middle school, I found that, you know, sometimes when I'm able to go fishing during the weekday or on a weekend, it really helps calm me down from, you know, school and all the pressures of schoolwork, etc. So I think it's a great way for kids to be able to get into the outdoors and relax, which isn't happening as often now as it used to. So that's why we built Fish Hut, to try and get as many kids into the outdoors as possible, experience the joys of fishing and the calming effects that it has, and really just be able to experience this sport that my brother and I have loved for so long.
And actually, research shows that fishing is good for mental health.
Yeah, exactly. We're also hosting a Cornell mental health study specifically on the youth mental health benefits on fishing. So that's something we're working on right now with Cornell to actually have research done on the area, because it's very under-researched, specifically between youth and fishing.
Yeah, the last survey done was back in the 1970s by a Harvard professor and explored the relationship between fly fishing and mental health. Talk to me about this other initiative you guys have going called Build a Reef.
Yeah, so that's the initiative that I founded, and that was founded from my 3M Young Scientist project called the AI Smart Artificial Reef. So that was in middle school, and I won 3rd place in the nationwide competition. Basically, there's a 3D printed reef. This one's actually 3D printed in concrete by 3D Potter, an amazing company. And it's incredible, where this entire reef is 3D printed in concrete, and it also incorporates a lot of other interesting technology like cameras, dissolved oxygen sensors, and also temperature sensors. And then we would release it into the water, for example, in a dock, next to a dock, and then we can see the astounding benefits of this artificial reef where coral and oysters actually latch onto the surface and provide a habitat for all these different animals to grow on while also being able to remotely monitor it. So that's my nonprofit called Build a Reef, and we're basically releasing more and more 3D printed reefs. So far, we're working on actual full-scale releasing of these reefs, and these are all going to be 3D printed in concrete, just like this one back here. These are pretty large, and they all include a bunch of technology. So far, we're releasing one. Well, we released one in New York, and we're working on releasing another one in Minnesota. So these ones work in both freshwater and saltwater. And because of that, I also was one of 10 top 10 winners for the Disney Hopper Challenge. So that was amazing, and yeah.
Okay, you boys are busy, and I imagine that the reef project is because coral reefs are rapidly dying around the world, and so you're trying to replace them. Is that right, or is it?
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the oceans, ocean acidification is causing a huge amount of reefs to die out, and specifically in New York in the Long Island Sound, which is another focus point of mine. Currently, the bottom of most of these areas are mud, which means that oysters actually can't latch onto the bottom because there's no rocky surface for them to live on. And this reef is providing that exact habitat where these oysters, whether it be coral or oysters, they need this place that's like rock to latch onto. And this is exactly what the AISAR is providing. Along with that, in freshwater applications, a significant issue is also the algae blooms that are happening. And the technology that the AISAR provides is almost unseen of in the marine education and in the marine world, because so far there are not that many underwater buoys and stuff to actually monitor these lakes, and whether it be the oceans or the lakes. And it can provide a lot of insight for scientists to see what's actually happening beneath the water for everyone out there.
Interesting. Very cool. Back to Fish Hut. If kids are looking or parents are looking for these tackle boxes, or the 3D printed rods, where can they usually find your items?
Absolutely. So our fish huts, we actually have a model right behind us. Looks like this. This one was built by the YMCA, actually. They can be found anywhere. So if you go on our website, fishhut.org, that's fishhut.org, you can see all the locations that we've placed fish huts. We have them in over 6 states now. And we place them in places like YMCAs or local schools or neighborhood centers. So if you go on our website, look for a fish hut near you, I'm sure you'll have a great time on the water with it and have a lot of fun.
You guys have an event coming up, is that right?
Yes, we do. We have an event actually at Trout Air. That's happening next week. And we're bringing a ton of families out to not only do fishing, but also have a catch and cook, which I think is pretty cool. And the first time we're doing an event like this in our organization as well.
Okay, wonderful. Now, that's the one thing I don't do. The kid has to release them. I'm not cooking the fish at night. So, wonderful organization. Fishing is so great for kids, especially here where we're surrounded by water. You two are quite impressive. I know that you've received many, many awards. And wow, so many grants, awards. So the cover of Time Magazine for kids. You guys are on a roll. I know you're going to do big things. So I'm sure we'll see you on the show again. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Wow. Impressive pair of kids. Man, oh man. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on All Day Live. Earlier today, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was in Rochester, Minnesota, to announce a new federal initiative focused on the safety of autistic individuals. So this initiative is designed to help locate autistic people who go missing or are considered endangered. And it was all inspired off a program that has been very successful out of the Rochester area. Here was the secretary speaking in Rochester earlier today.
Thank you all for being here. I want to thank our partners, the Department of Justice and FEMA, our state and local law enforcement partners, the Rochester Area Autism Association, and the members of the autism community who joined us today. Your experience and partnership are essential for us getting this right. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services, in partnership with DOJ and FEMA, is launching the first ever National Autism Missing Person Initiative. President Trump has made improving the lives of people with autism and their families one of his top priorities. And today we are acting on that commitment. When an autistic child or an adult goes missing, every minute matters. Approximately half of autistic individuals wander from a safe setting at some point. Wandering can happen during sensory overloads with anxiety, or when someone seeks some kind of new adventure or new experience. The consequence can be deadly. 8 autistic people die following wandering incidents each month, and drowning is the leading cause of death associated with wandering. Children with autism are 100 times more likely to drown than neurotypical children. We have a responsibility to do better. When an autistic, sorry about that. When an autistic person goes missing, responders need to move immediately. They need to know how the person communicates, what risks they face, and where to search first, including nearby bodies of water and other high-risk areas. The public also needs to know quickly when it could help make a difference. America already has as much of this infrastructure as it needs to make this work. Now we need to put that infrastructure to work. HHS and DOJ and FEMA will build on existing missing and endangered person alert capabilities and FEMA's integrated public alert and warning system, IPAWS, to develop a national framework for qualifying autism-related incidents. Our goal is an autism-specific alert capability that gets critical information to authorities and the public quickly and helps bring missing persons home safely. But an alert system is not enough. We also will advance the autism-specific response protocols, improve first responder education, promote evidence-based informed search practices, and strengthen state and local implementation and improve data collection. Our mission is simple: alert faster, search smarter, and save lives. We know preparation and coordination work. Project Lifesaver here in Rochester area demonstrates what communities can accomplish when they prepare before an emergency comes along. And we just did a really extraordinary and inspiring roundtable with the Olmsted County Sheriff's Department, who's here today, and with the Rochester Police Department. And we heard about the success story behind this incredible program, and it's something that we want to promote nationally. And as most of you know, it includes telemetry devices in children, those specific kids with autism who are inclined to wander, wear a telemetry transmitter in an ankle bracelet or a wrist bracelet. And the Rochester Police Department and the Olmsted County Sheriff have had a 100% success rate in finding those children before anything bad happens to them. And congratulations. One of the things that we learned from that roundtable was the importance of the relationship between the police and the children, that the police are showing up in uniforms every 45 days to change the battery on the device. And it develops a rapport and a communication relationship between the child. And many of these child are very wary of strangers. They hide from police during searches. But in this case, we've found that their experience here is that they now run, they gravitate toward the police because they're familiar with the uniform. They feel safe with the police, so that relationship is a critical part of the response. We came here to learn from one of the most successful programs in the nation, and we want to know the successful approaches and help communities across America to implement these kind of effective practices in every community. Today, HHS is also taking additional steps to improve health care for autistic Americans. CMS has released a new applied behavioral analysis toolkit to help states strengthen the quality and oversight of ABA services, promote appropriate evidence-based care, and combat fraud, waste, and abuse. HRSA is expanding training on diagnostic overshadowing, which is a very, very common complaint from the parents of autistic kids, and co-occurring medical conditions, and working with health center programs to improve services for autistic individuals. An autism diagnosis should never cause a healthcare professional to overlook another related medical condition. We want clinicians to recognize those conditions earlier to provide comprehensive care. I want to be clear about what happens next. Today begins the National Autism Missing Person Alert Initiative. A new nationwide autism-specific alert is not yet active. We are developing the framework, working with our federal, local, and state partners to turn it into an effective national capability. In the meantime, if an autistic loved one goes missing, people should call 911 immediately and be ready to share critical information about communication, behavior, about the attraction to water, about familiar locations and known risks. And prepare before an emergency happens, teach water safety, secure pools and other dangerous areas. Consider alarms and location technology where appropriate. Develop an emergency plan and share it with family members, schools, and caregivers. Families deserve a government that acts with urgency, competence, and accountability. Under President Trump, that is what we intend to deliver. We will respond faster, and we will coordinate better. And we will protect autistic Americans with the urgency and the dignity that they deserve. That's how we save lives. That's how we put Americans first. And that's how we make America healthy again and safe again. Before I turn it over, I want to thank Attorney General Todd Blanche, DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, FEMA Administrator Cameron Hamilton, who's here with me today, Vince Davenport from DOJ, and the DOJ and FEMA for helping make this initiative possible. I also want to thank the Rochester Police Department, thank you, gentlemen, and the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, the Rochester Area Autism Association, and everyone who joined our roundtable today. Your experience and partnership will help us to build a much stronger capacity to protect these children. And I especially want to recognize Caden Larson, who is a member of the Interagency Autism Committee. Caden, thank you.
All right, that was Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. talking about a new initiative to find, locate autistic individuals who are considered endangered or missing. Switching gears to the weather, it has been quite lovely, pleasant. Yeah, listen, I know that we could use some more moisture. Our ground is a little dry, but overall, this summer has just been prime time. Just dreamy. I don't mind the heat. I love it. I think it's been great.
It was great. I feel like this is the summer that Minnesotans always talk about, like, oh, you'll like summer's the best here, like you'll love it, and I did love it, and it was the best. So
yeah, and now you're hooked.
Well, it's not over yet, so
you're hooked. I know, but do you know here the end of summer, like the signal of the end of summer, is always considered the Minnesota State Fair?
I knew you were gonna say that,
and it's only 6 days away.
I know, that's crazy.
I'm not ready. Like I suddenly was like, oh. The kids start school soon.
Yeah.
I like had to go in the other day because I'm a type C parent. I was like,
school?
what is the first, no, to like the calendar. What is the first day of school? What are the supplies that I need?
The first day of school?
I didn't know. My mom asked me, she's like, when's the
That's
first
so
day of school? I
funny.
was like, I don't know, like Labor Day-ish. I don't know.
That's so funny.
I now am clear. The first day of school is September 1st. I'm good. I'm ready to go.
When your kids get older, they're gonna start lying and tell you that the first day of school is like not what it actually is.
I'll
so they don't have to go.
I'll check. They're just gonna be like, Mom, you didn't get my supplies yet. The other moms are on top of it. I'll be like, and those moms are not nearly as fun. So
yeah, and they can just borrow their
it's fun to live on the
supplies.
edge. It's fun to be last minute and live on the edge.
Yeah,
and I will die on that cross.
And I feel like if you don't ever buy them supplies, they'll borrow their friends, and it's a great lesson for everyone in the classroom to share.
Oh, and you know what's
So-
another good lesson? And then we can actually talk the weather. Is when your kid forgets something, like forgets a project or forgets, like for us, they're little, so it's like show and share. And there were a couple times where he's like, Mom, you forgot my show and share. I'm like, my show and share? You knew it was show and share the next day. That's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
And it's a good lesson in like, I'm not going to rescue you. So,
Yeah, teach them.
So I know parents who are like, their kid calls and is like, I forgot my whatever today. And they're like, too bad. I'm not
Well,
rescuing you.
My mom would rescue me. When I was in high school, I shouldn't be admitting this on television, but I would
Do it.
have like a quiz in English class that I forgot about and didn't study. So I'd be like, Mom, can you call into the office and tell them I have a doctor's appointment so I could leave for this class period and then come back?
My mom would absolutely do that for me too. Absolutely.
And then there was one time where she said no, and I was like, what do you mean? But she normally would always say yes because she wanted me to get good grades. So she was like, oh, this gives you an extra day to study for it, sure.
She's like, I'm busy. I can't rescue you today.
Usually, like, she'd call up my grandma to pick me up or something.
Okay, but look at this. You turned out just fine.
I turned out great. And I mean, that was English class. I never did that for my math tests and
Science is what you do.
Science.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Okay. I'm not math and science, which is why we brought you in. I'm all about the words, not the numbers.
I'm more of a numbers person.
I love that. I love that for you. So what are the numbers looking like today?
The numbers are looking great. So temperatures today, they're going to be in the 80s for the high. Dew points aren't as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit muggy. And yesterday we had that severe weather late in the evening into the early overnight, but now that is well past us. I also have some graphics if we want to pop that up. And the severe weather is now into places like eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and even into parts of Illinois. But here it is pretty nice and around the Twin Cities metro, completely dry. Up north, though, there is one severe warned storm, actually. And with this, you could find some gusty wind and some hail. So that's over in the southwestern part of Roseau County, going into Marshall County. But other than that, the rest of the rumblers up north are not severe. They just have some lightning and some thunder and potentially heavy rain. Looks beautiful over White Bear Lake. High temperature 82 and normally 80, so running just 2 degrees above average. And then across the area, there's a whole lot of 70s and a few more 80s in places like Hinckley, Red Wing, Winona, and then Grand Marais temperatures are in the 60s. And so breeze from the northwest today. That's why it's not as muggy as yesterday. And then for the rest of the weekend, well, I guess we technically didn't start it yet, but maybe people did if they have Friday off. For the weekend, it is looking great. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. Dew points will be in the 50s, so it's not going to be humid. And there's no chance for rain over the weekend, which is great. And then after that, it's going to be still pretty nice into the start of next work week. High temperatures stick to the low 80s. So
All right.
pretty dry overall. There could be a chance for isolated shower maybe Monday night. But
what I've really loved about your forecasts recently is that the weekends are always beautiful.
They really have been. I think there's only been one weekend the past 4 that there was a chance for showers, if I'm remembering that correctly, but I'm pretty sure that's what the stat is.
Yeah, it's been because we only have so many days in Minnesota to enjoy the beautiful landscape that we have.
Yeah.
And so on the weekends, for those of us who work, to have like sunny, clear, no thunderstorm weekends, that's impressive. We get a lot of thunderstorms around here in the summer, so
yeah,
it's been great.
It has been great, and I had a lot of visitors the past 2 weeks. My friends came, and then my family came, and they both had amazing weekends. And I was like, I did this for you guys.
Yeah, right? You gave them all the clear weather. That's great.
Yeah.
Did they like Minnesota?
Oh, they loved it, yeah.
Okay, well, just convince your friends to move here, convince your family to move here, and we'll be set. We'll just keep Erica forever.
Yeah, and then my parents will live here, my siblings will live here, and yeah.
It'll be a Minnesota fairy tale. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Well, the Minnesota State Fair usually welcomes 1.9 million people to the fairgrounds over a 12-day stretch. And with concerns over violence, certainly there is a warning there about staying safe in big crowds. Former CIA officer and security expert Matt Osborne joins us now with some good tips on how to stay safe. Hey, Matt, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, so I just want to start off. Obviously, we've got a big event coming up here in Minnesota. When someone walks in to a large crowd, what is the first thing that you suggest they do just to orient themselves?
Well, what we say at the USCCA is always try to notice what is out of place. Now, there will be a lot of people coming in. There will be so much excitement for the Great Minnesota Get-Together. But keep your eyes and ears open. It doesn't mean to be worried or panicking, but if you see something out of place, you need to alert law enforcement. So as you're walking in, going through metal detectors, bag checks, make sure everything seems as it should be in order. But if you notice voices starting to raise, if you notice tension starting to raise, whether it's through groups or other disagreements or arguments, just remove yourself from that situation. The chances of something bad happening are very, very small. I hope everyone goes and has a great time, but the chances aren't zero. And as law enforcement says, sometimes you need to be your own first line of defense. But I know it's going to be a successful and fun event starting on Thursday.
Yeah, it definitely will. You know, there's the risk, though, and we always want to stay safe. What's the biggest safety mistake you see people make when in large crowds?
At the USCCA, we teach the Cooper color codes, which is beware of condition white, which is oblivious, not paying attention, staring at your cell phone, staring off into space. We suggest that people stay in condition yellow, the same type of situational awareness you'd have when you are out driving. So think about defensive driving. We all know we need to pay attention to potential threats when we're driving. So it should be the same way, Courtney, at the fair. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be swinging your head to the right and the left and back again. Have fun on the rides, the exhibitions, the games, the food. But once again, just listen to your body, that sixth sense. If something seems out of place, it probably is. Work with your family, your friends. Talk about what would we do if, God forbid, something happens? Where are the exits? How are we going to communicate? Just a little bit of prevention isn't going to freak people out or make them afraid. It should empower them, make them feel confident, and even more ready to have the time of their lives at the Great Minnesota Get Together. I love that term.
I know, it is fun, isn't it? I'm kind of thinking like when a family makes a fire escape plan. You know, you never hope that you have to encounter that situation, but fire departments always suggest, you know, just running through that script with your kids, doing a practice drill. Even with little kids, should we be saying, okay, guys, like, if we get lost, this is where we're going to meet, or if we need to escape quickly, we're all going to go this way. What do you suggest?
Right. To those in your audience, I would say, you know your kids and grandkids better than anyone. You know what will resonate with them to give them the proper amount of situational awareness without making them overly afraid. So as you're walking into the gates, there probably will be a long line. Maybe notice a meeting point. Is it something easily seen? I'm in Texas, and the State Fair of Texas has big text standing out there. Maybe there's something outside the gates in Minnesota that maybe that you tell your family, this is where we'll meet if you can't find us. Or when you're right inside, pick out something that your kids or grandkids would know. A big Ferris wheel, maybe it's something near the exit. Just make sure that everyone is on the same page, that if something happens and we aren't able to communicate via cell phones, here is where we will meet. Secondly, make sure kids and grandkids feel comfortable approaching uniformed, trustworthy law enforcement, because they will be out in force over the next 12 days or after the fair starts on Thursday to make sure that everyone is safe and having a great time.
And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, you know, I've got little kids, and we always tell them, like, find a police officer, find somebody in uniform, but it is a crowded space. Should we tell our kids to, like, hey, I'm lost, like, to anybody in the crowd, or do they need to find somebody official?
So as I was doing some research a few hours ago, it looks like at the fairgrounds there will be a number of areas for lost and found or people who need assistance. Maybe as you're walking in, parents and grandparents, tell your kids and grandkids, hey, this is a safe place to go if you need anything. Tell them that, hey, if something happens and you may start panicking, it's okay, be calm. But once again, look for those uniformed law enforcement, or also I would say uniformed fairgrounds employees. They oftentimes are trained too to be able to help those who are lost, those who are having medical emergencies, or hopefully it won't happen, those who are threatened by some type of event, criminal or otherwise.
If you suddenly find yourself in a crowd that's getting like tightly packed, more tightly packed, more tightly packed, what are the things you should do and what are the things you should not do?
At the USCCA, when we teach situational awareness and threat identification as part of our mental self-defense, we always teach stay away from that inclination to whip out your cell phone and start recording, to go towards the noise, to go towards the commotion to find out what it is. If there's a doubt, there is no doubt. Courtney, I would say to everyone, just remove yourself from the situation. What's the worst thing that would happen is if you're wrong and it was an innocuous situation that wasn't dangerous, maybe you feel foolish. Oh, maybe I overreacted. I personally am okay if I survive 100% of the potentially dangerous situations that I avoid, and I bet you and others would be okay with that as well.
What about concern about bottlenecks? You know, like if there is a situation where everybody's running for the exits at the same time, you know, we've seen unfortunate situations nationwide where, you know, we see trampling and that, or where people just can't get out because you're all bottlenecked at an exit. What's your advice for avoiding that bottleneck?
Fortunately, the Minnesota State Fairgrounds have a number of exits, and it's such a large property that even though it might look like people are rushing for one exit, remind yourselves and remind your family members you have other ways to get out. This isn't like a restaurant or bar, which may have one way in or one way out. And at the USCCA, we have an acronym called SAFE. It's SAFE, see the threat and assess the risk. But the F is find an exit route or safe place to hide. And E is emotional control. As much as you can, and I don't expect this to happen, but if there is something that causes people to make a rush for the exits, keep your wits about you. Take a breath. Look all the way around, 360 degrees if you need to, and be prepared to grab your family, your friends, your loved ones, and say, I know the crowd's going that way. We're actually going to go another way to give us some space and give us a better chance, actually, of not getting into one of these bottlenecks that you just discussed.
Yeah, and I think about a stampede or a bunch of people, running. Is it best to run with the crowd, or is it best to find a wall to hide behind or something like that?
I'll give one of the frustrating answers. It depends, but in that case, I really am serious. It depends. I would say stay away from bottlenecks if at all possible. However, if it appears that is your only way to go because the threat is coming from a variety of different areas, then you may need to take cover temporarily. You may need to go around a building. You may need to be able to hide physically that provides both cover and concealment. But once again, distress, having just that situational awareness, as if you're defensive driving, you'll be able to see that proverbial tricycle come out in the street or someone cut you off, meaning you're going to be able to see that threat at the fairgrounds and with just a breath say, don't panic, I'm now going to go to the right because everyone's going to the left or vice versa.
Okay, all wonderful advice. Matt Osborne, really appreciate you joining the show.
Thank you so much. Hope everyone has a great time.
Oh, we will. Thank you. Also a note, to stay safe. Maybe a lot of people choose not to stay after dark. So just go during the day, and once the sun goes down, get over there because nothing good happens after dark. Don't you think, Grace?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been to the State Fair after dark. I don't know if I ever have gone, after dinner.
I have for the shows, for the concerts.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But when I have made a very conscious decision to not lollygag and just go to the grandstand, go to the show, and then leave because unfortunately, working in the news business here in Minnesota for a decade, I have covered violence at the fair.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it is usually in the Midway area, and it is usually after dark.
Yeah.
So I know for me, having young kids, we just try and get out of there before it gets dark, just because that makes us feel better. And then if I do go without the kids and I go at night, I just go to the show and then I leave. Maybe grab some Sweet Martha's on the way out, but I think that's the way to go.
I agree. And, the State Fair, it's cool at night with all the rides lit up and everything.
It is.
It's always important to stay safe.
And do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I know. And it's crazy to think this time next week for Feel Good Friday, and I'm not very good at segueing, but for Feel Good Friday, we're probably getting a lot of pictures, like you said earlier, from the fair. Should we take a look at some of our viewer pictures?
So we've been asking you guys throughout the day to send in your Feel Good Friday snaps. So we get a lot of pets for Feel Good Friday, but we take anything that makes you feel good. You can scan that QR code in the corner or go to fox9.com/allday and submit your Feel Good Friday. Biddy Boo, furry cat. Reminds me of the cat I had growing up. Beautiful long hair cat there. Oh, look at that. You and your boyfriend celebrating 1.5 years. That I love. Francis, beautiful photo of you and your boyfriend. That is definitely a Feel Good Friday. Oh, love this. Golf carts on the beach. Does this mean that Michelle from Burnsville is watching us while in Galveston? I think it does, Grace. I think she's watching us on the road.
I think she is. That's so nice.
Thank you, Michelle.
She wants to know what's going on in the news. I appreciate that.
She wants to stay connected to the home state while she's gone. Becky from Cambridge, look at her beautiful garden and plants. That is incredible. Love all the decor that she has in the garden. Quad Squad.
I'm obsessed with the quad squad.
Look at the quad squad. Look at the little corgi. Oh my gosh.
So
this is Teresa from Ramsey. Yeah, those dogs they want to go outside. They want to go for a walk. This is like when we get home from work and Shepherd gets out of the kennel. He's like, hello. Oh, a great night out with Dirty Dancing with friends. So great. Okay, this I love. Girls' night at the theater. Come on, that's great. We love it when you guys share your Feel Good Friday with us because we're also feeling good on a Friday. We got the weekend ahead of us. We're all going to get out there and enjoy it. We got a lot going on. Are we going to do Bougie Budget Basic after the break, guys? Okay, sure. They said sure, Courtney, whatever you want. Because in Bougie Budget Basic, we talk about all kinds of options for entertainment over the weekend. Maybe somebody's going to go dirty dancing like those girlfriends there. I don't know. We're going to find out after the break. Stay with us. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on All Day Live. Let's do a quick check of your headlines before we jump into some fun stuff. Minneapolis firefighters are investigating a deadly garage fire in North Minneapolis. Crews were called to a home on Colfax Avenue North early this morning and found a man dead inside a detached garage. His identity has not been released, and fire officials say he was not associated with the residents of the home. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was in Minnesota earlier today to announce a new federal initiative aimed at helping find autistic people who go missing. The program will be using existing alert systems, including FEMA's Public Warning Network, to develop autism-specific alerts and training for first responders. Officials say the initiative was modeled in part on Rochester's successful Project Lifesaver program. And the Timberwolves and Lynx are getting a new owner. Just a year after Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez took control, billionaire investor Mark Stodd is buying Lowry's majority stake at $4.5 billion. A-Rod will remain an owner while Lowry will keep a minority stake. The deal, of course, still needs NBA approval. All righty. How's this for a transition? This is the part of the week where we like to look at all the things going on across the metro this weekend on varying budgets in a segment that we like to call Bougie Basic Budget. No graphic today, Paul? Okay.
You're using new graphics today.
Well, we're using new graphics. If you haven't noticed, we've got some fancy new graphics that just require us a little bit to work out how we're going to do those things moving forward. So you'll have to give me a break. I thought we were going to head to a break to give me some chance to type in some lower thirds.
Sorry.
I'm going to be doing this on the fly, I guess. You just really love to keep me on my toes. But always joining us on Boozy Budget Basic. This should hopefully work. There we go.
Yay.
All three of us. There we go.
Look at that. Look
Best
at the
time of
trio.
the week.
The best trio in the biz.
Well, a trio.
A trio. Okay,
Hey, that's
fine.
negative, Paul.
Okay, sorry. No, I shouldn't be negative because I'm very excited about what I'm going to be doing in my.
I'm also excited for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? You're on the $50 budget, so you're on the budget.
I'm on the budget.
$50. This can, especially in this economy, this can be a challenging one, Paul. But I think you've come up with a nice little weekend.
I've got. Well, it's not a weekend. This is the thing that I've got to get your good graciousness on from the two of you is. Can I hold off on my bougie budget basic until Monday so that I can live my teenage angsty emo dreams?
Why not?
Here in the Twin Cities. You happy with that?
You're breaking the rules, but
I'm
we're going to let
breaking
it
the
fly
rules
this time.
Just a little bit. As I type a graphic in here, 2 seconds. So I need to get a graphic up here. What is it? What's the show called? The segment called?
Bougie Basic
Budget.
Okay.
No,
we have to type it on the fly.
Yeah, so you can't throw us in like this is throwing us.
I thought we were good
We
to
can't-
go
we
to the
can't jump
segment.
things
I'm
around
sorry. Do you want me to toss to a commercial now?
No. I'm typing it in.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint for
Here we go.
Paul's
Here we've got a
budget.
graphic here.
Oh, there we
Bougie
go.
Basic Budget.
There we go. Paul
Whoa,
earlier
it's like
today asked
magic.
me, how much does an eyeliner pencil cost?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Which
What
I
am
then
asking
I did a bit of googling, and actually there is a varying range of prices.
There
that you
is.
can. Like
There
I could have spent
Yep.
my entire $50
Oh,
on an
yeah.
eyeliner.
Easily.
Yeah.
Man, that's the Chanel. You got to go with the NYX, you know?
That's what I use.
Yes, the
There
NYX
you
is
go.
affordable, and it's pretty good quality, if I do say so
Yeah.
myself. So,
Well,
Shout out
like
Nyx.
we said, I had the budget. So taking on budget is me. Here we have my dream as a teenager to go and see My Chemical Romance. 2 tickets are going to set me $24 at Target Field, $12 a piece each. Drinks cost the same. Shocking. That was the big news of the week. I thought $12 tickets to go and see My Chemical Romance, but the beers there cost $12 as well. And then I thought, you can't go to a My Chemical Romance concert without a bit of a dramatic eyeline underneath your eye.
is that their thing? Does the lead singer
Well, you're
wear
an
like
e-
thick
if you're
black
an-
eyeliner?
If you're an emotional My Chemical Romance fan, you really need that sort of dark underline.
Wow,
Tight line.
you're gonna look great.
You're gonna look so
It's
good.
really gonna accentuate your eyes.
The $3 one is going to be.
Well, you know what? The messier and smudgier it looks, the better. I feel
Is that
like.
is
for
that what
those
we call a
types of
smoky
events.
eye, or is that something completely
Yes,
different?
look at
That is.
you.
That is actually what we call it.
But I think the emo look is like a hard
It's
line.
like hard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
But
hard.
dark.
Once you start dancing to the music,
When I was at uni, people used to do that. They used to come and put dark eyeliner underneath your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, when you were listening. When I was a young. Anyway, I shouldn't sing
Were
it.
you emo?
I wasn't emo, but I did enjoy My Chemical Romance.
I can't say I enjoy My Chemical
I honestly
Romance.
can't name a single song.
The Black Parade, isn't that one
Welcome
of
to
them?
the Black Parade, but I don't know if that's the song
know
or
it.
the album. Anyway,
Whatever.
look.
What I'm you know, honestly, I'm thinking about going to the concert
Yeah,
because I'm like,
for $12.
these days, we've talked to the Star Tribune music critic about this. We've talked extensively about how expensive it is to go to a show. So like, while I know this is tragic for My Chemical Romance because they were selling these tickets in pre-sale for much more.
Much more.
I actually love that for once you can actually go to a show at Target Field.
I mean,
for $12.
That's the price of a movie ticket today. You go to the movies to see an IMAX, it's going to be at least $12.
The bandmates in My Chemical Romance are going to need some serious therapy to unpack this.
Well, nothing. I mean, the one thing that emo people need is tragic things to happen so that they can write songs
maybe
and be
they're
inspired.
going to have a great next
They're going to have a great next album.
All about how they can't
It's going
sell
to be called
tickets.
Empty Target Field is what the next album of My Chemical
Well,
Romance.
and I read it's not just Target Field, it's like all of their venues.
Ooh.
Denver, like you can get like $30 tickets in Denver. So I think that they really had, they had some bad information about how popular they still are. And
Yeah.
I think they're more of an Armory act. Like I think they could sell out the Armory and it would be a really awesome show. That'd be a great venue for them. I think they really were out over their skis on this one.
Well, I know like Green Day has performed. Noah Kahan was just there. I mean, today they're not nearly as big as Noah Kahan.
Garth Brooks?
While we do this, do you know what other tickets are available for the State Fair bandstand? Because we were talking about that today. That was Weird Al. There's still tickets available for Weird Al?
Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Brad Paisley, they were
talking about a millennial throwback, Paul. I mean, like Weird Al. When I was a kid, that was like, he was...
Talk about an Armory gig.
Well, the grandstand is probably about the same size as the Armory.
That's true.
There are only 71 tickets left to see Weird Al.
Well, how much
Get
are
'em
they,
quick.
Grace?
Let's see.
Book it.
Book it. Book it.
Book it, as we say.
$170
I'm
for
out.
the cheapest.
I'm out.
Have fun,
Guys.
Grace.
I'm out.
Oh my gosh.
That is not
That's my
worth
bougie.
it.
That's my basic. I'm on
I
my
have
budget.
to say, on the floor, $1,800.
For
What?
Weird Al?
$1,800.
Who are these people?
$1,851.
Is there anyone alive you'd pay $1,800 to go and see perform? Who?
Morgan Wallen.
No,
She
surely
would. For,
You know
for
what?
Courtney.
Actually, let me tell you something. I like the price aside, I am too darn old to stand in in the floor.
Horrific.
I don't want your sweaty body pushed up next to me. Like, ew, I want a chair to sit in. And then the songs that move me will get me to stand.
Yeah.
I do not want to be standing the entire show, and I certainly don't want strangers all pressed up against me.
Right.
And then like you can't go to the bathroom.
No, I don't. And you don't want to have to get there right when the door is open. No, I'm out on GA too.
The last time I went to a concert was at First Avenue, and I was like, I've hit a point in my life where my priorities, I need to get them straight. My Duolingo was about to expire. I was going to miss getting my Duolingo for the day, so I went over and sat in a table by myself and did my Duolingo at the concert. Because I was like, I don't want to stand up anymore.
Yeah, Paul, that's when we know that we've just maybe aged out of the concert
concerts,
scene.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Who's next?
I'm next.
Okay.
The basic budget.
The basic.
We've been talking so much about the State Fair. We need to give the Renaissance Festival some love. That's kicking off tomorrow, if you can believe it, running through October 4th. Tickets are $30 a piece if you buy them at the gate. You save a little bit of money if you buy them ahead of time, but I never buy my tickets ahead of time for anything. Yeah, so that's this weekend running through October 4th. Like I said, it's always such a fun time at the Renaissance Fair. I remember going as a kid and watching the jousting and watching all the different shows of sword swallowing, eating turkey legs. So you can spend $150 there easy. I've budgeted $60 for food and bev. They have different craft beers and cocktails, but they also have, your classic turkey legs and those types of things. And then you always have to come home from the Renaissance Fair with a souvenir.
You do?
You do. You have to get like a flower crown or like a sword. Look,
what's the single shot? Because I'm the naysayer. It's like, flower crown. That's actually nice.
like a flower crown or like fairy wings, because people get their costumes to wear around the fair when they're there.
Okay, these are nice things.
Oh yeah, they're really, really cool. I mean, you should take the kids, because I loved going as a kid, and I probably haven't gone in over 15 years, but I'm going to make it back this year.
It's in Shakopee, right?
It's in Shakopee, and they do have free parking, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I mean, $60 for 2 tickets, it's not outrageous. But
well,
yeah,
I do want to know, the people who swallow the sword.
Oh gosh,
I have a lot of questions.
No.
Is it an optical illusion, or are they
No, they're
swallowing?
actually doing it.
No, really?
Yeah.
How is that on their vocal cords and their...
I don't know. I don't explain
Can they
it.
eat
I'm looking it up. They suppress their natural gag reflex, tilt and stretch their heads back to straighten the natural curves of the throat and esophagus, and relax their upper and lower esophageal sphincters to guide a blunt steel blade down into the stomach.
Okay, so it's not sharpened.
Well, I don't think it could like nick you if you just went like that.
Yeah, that would
but
be
it could
horrible.
Still, like it's a
Yeah.
metal rod.
Oh, okay, well, I'll be skipping that display, but I think we are going to take the kids. That sounds like a good time. We used to go I didn't grow up here, I grew up in California, but we had the Renaissance Fair there. And we used to go every year, and it was always during like the really hot months.
Yeah.
And I loved going, but when I was really little, I remember it would kind of scare me, because the people working are so committed to the bit.
It's so immersive.
They do not break character.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it weirded me out as a child that I was like, wait, are these people really living like this?
Right,
And I would try and like ask them, and it freaked me out that they were so committed and to a child. So that scared me a little bit as a kid. But I think my kids will have a great time.
They're gonna have fun. I mean, the costumes there, people, and you can't tell who works there versus who's just going there for fun, because people show up in the most elaborate outfits. They have like elf ears tailored to fit
I used to
their
always
ears.
get my hair braided. I don't know if they do that at this one.
That's a great souvenir. That's always what my mom would.
Yeah, the hair
want
braid, and they
for
put the
me.
ribbons
Yes,
in.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did like the Renaissance Fair. Now it's a golf course.
What?
In California, the one that I went to. Sorry. Not here. The Renaissance Fair is going strong.
Well, that's a bummer. Yeah,
Paul hasn't chimed in, so he has nothing to say about
He
the
has nothing
Renaissance
to
Fair.
say.
I think you're having a great time.
I'm sad about the Renaissance Fair, if I'm completely honest, because last year we went. So this is the thing, to go to the Renaissance Fair, you have to go nice and early in the day, because we turned up, and as we got there, they were like, we're done for the day. We literally.
What time did you get there?
It was, I don't know, like 5 o'clock or something.
Oh, well, that's late.
I thought that would be an appropriate time to go and Renaissance.
Oh,
But yeah, we
so
got
it's
there.
not an evening thing. It's only during the day.
Well, that's what happened to us last year. We got to the parking and they were like, look, you can go in for half an hour, but the parking's going to be $15.
It only goes until 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there you go. You won't be there after.
Perfect for me. My kids
Great,
go to bed
yeah,
early.
honestly.
I'm loving that. Well, you're going to have a great time, Grace. I love it. Renaissance Fair. Tickets on sale now. You can buy them ahead of time, or you can buy them at the gate. Shakopee this
It's like
weekend.
$2 more to buy them at the gate.
It's great.
Yeah.
How about we move on to, I got the big budget this weekend. I have the $500 budget. So I figured, since I've got a lot of money in my pocket, I'm going to go to the Vikings-Ravens preseason game, and I'm going to splurge. Because I am going to sit in one of the clubs. I found tickets for $180 each to sit in the Medtronic Club. And food and drink is included at the
sweet.
Medtronic Club. So, and usually these tickets are much more than this.
Yeah.
Because it's a preseason game, they're reselling on the resale market. I found some for $180. Some go a little higher than that, but yeah, food and drink is included. Great view right there at the 50-yard line. And so that's $180 per ticket. And then, because I'm already in downtown Minneapolis, I'm going to head over to the Berlin in the North Loop. I've not yet been to the Berlin. After reading up about it, this place seems incredible.
It's so fun.
Yeah, so they have early evening jazz, which will be perfect because kickoff's at noon at US Bank Stadium. And then early evening jazz starts at 4 or 4:30, I can't remember, one of the two. And it's free to get in, but you just, need to drink and eat. And they have a lovely menu there. So lovely craft cocktails, delicious, Nordic-inspired, it seemed the menu was, food. And so I budgeted $100 for that. And of course, because we always play it safe, $40 for an Uber to get downtown and then back. You know, that maybe was an underestimate. Okay, fine. So I'll be over budget then. It's probably $80 because these days Uber's so expensive.
So expensive.
It's going to cost me probably $40 to get downtown, even though I only live, 12 miles out of downtown. So, okay, fine. I'm a little over budget, but play it safe. I'm going to have a couple drinks at the game, a couple drinks at the Berlin. I'm not driving, so.
Well, you're going to eat so much in the club. I've been to the Berlin, and it's a lot of just like snacky hors d'oeuvre type things too.
But it looked like, they had steak.
Oh, did they
really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had entrees.
Yeah.
So, it's an intimate little jazz club. It used to be, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the Askov Finlayson clothing store was there. One of the Dayton brothers owned that. It closed. They opened up the Berlin back in 2024. It's a very small, dark, intimate little jazz club.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it looks really.
Ian and I went there on our third date.
Aww.
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
a really great date night spot. And in there, we had a really good time. The music was great, but we were paying attention to how many other people in there were on first, second dates. It was really, really interesting.
I'm gonna go, I don't have a babysitter right now, so maybe not this weekend. But I think that sounds lovely. I'm gonna suggest that for a date night for us.
They have really great martinis, and I don't like a martini, so.
It's right next to Porzana, which, if you like their food better, you could eat there and then just walk over. But when we lived in the North Loop, this wasn't there. So I am excited to check out a new place.
The things we learn on
The
Bougie
things,
Budget and Basic.
listen, let me tell you, this segment, sometimes I'm like, well, I didn't know that was going on. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I think I have the graphic for us to put
okay,
it a bit-
perfect.
to put this
And
in a nice little flow on.
that's the segment that we like to call
Bougie Basic
Budget. I always say it wrong. Bougie Basic Budget. Well, we hope you enjoyed learning about different things happening across the Twin Cities this weekend on varying budgets. Should we go to break?
Let's go to
It
break.
sounds like we should go to break.
Let's go.
that like to just jam out to our music. It's got a beat. Yeah. I think it's kind of a bop. Welcome back. This is the part of the show that we like to take a look at what's trending on social media in a segment we like to call, Wait, What's Happening? This one is pretty cute, and we've got Paul back there in the control room, and he loves these animal videos. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Some people that were at a baseball game, a Mets baseball game at Citi Field in New York. Is it in New York? It's in Queens. Yeah, it is in Queens. I was just checking because the football team plays in New Jersey. They found a stealthy raccoon was stealing some baseball food through a hole in the stands. The footage that was captured by Scott Reynolds shows the amusing moment that a raccoon's paw can be seen rising up through a hole and grabbing at peanut shells at the Queens ballpark. Take a watch.
Holy hell. That's, yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Dude.
Oh my God. Wait, Jameson, sit back.
Ripping
Like, if you just let it go. Oh, he's back. I can't.
Well, I'm not sure we should be feeding raccoons hot dogs, but they've probably had worse.
It's fine. It's fine.
Reynolds said that he and his family were eating peanuts and dropping the shells in the stands when they noticed a paw appearing from a small hole in the concrete and soon realized it was a raccoon.
Oh, look at that cute little hand.
I know, it's so cute.
Sweet.
They said they enjoyed the extra show. The problem is I don't think that that Citi Field is going to like this video. They have probably gone and closed this hole.
No. This needs to be the new Jimothy.
Oh, I just feel like probably the baseball park doesn't want the image that rodents, especially because you're in Queens, there's already enough of an image about rodents.
I mean, do we definitely know that was a raccoon and it wasn't one of those famous New York trash rats?
Let me tell you, those rats are huge.
They're ginormous. Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's one of those things we don't think about these raccoons living so close to us all the time, but they're there. They're so adaptable. They're like one of the most adaptable animals that lives in North America. And so it doesn't really surprise me that this animal was drawn to somewhere where there was food, shelter from predators, and just
where there was a hole, there was a hole
willing to feed you food.
That's a whole hot dog.
The smartest raccoon in New York City.
Truly.
Yeah, it could be in all of North America.
I mean, really, to get hot dogs just handed to him. He made a hot dog size hole.
When I was growing up, we had a family of raccoons that found its way in under our house, and they nuzzled up under the bathtub. So you would be like in the shower, and you'd hear.
No.
Wowza.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as the bats.
Well, yeah, it's a long story. We didn't have a foundation on the home, so like it was just like open. I mean, yeah, very old home in Northern California in the Redwoods. So the raccoons, we did call the rescue, and the raccoons were taken away and probably lived a happier life away from underneath our house.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, a runaway pig was seen scampering through the streets of Los Angeles, California on Saturday. Video captured by somebody in LA, I don't know, the Medical Miracle, whoever that is on social media, shows that the pig gave a chase. I don't know. Watch the video.
Come here, pig. Hey, come back, pig.
I don't feel like this is that weird.
Come here, pig. That's a pig. Hey, come here, piggy. Come here, baby. Why are you running like the police coming? Hey, there's a pig in West Hollywood. We gotta catch the pig. Hey, come back, pig. Hey, come here, pig. Wait. Don't hit the pig! Don't hit the pig! Wait, we gotta catch that pig, baby. And
oh my! Pig on the run!
Damn it! I
don't think this is that unusual. No, look at him. He's clearly a pig that is bred to be an indoor pet. He's a little pig. He's like a miniature pig. People in West Hollywood are very unique. I'm not surprised that somebody has a pet pig. The poor pig probably just got out. Does he? It looked like he had like a harness on.
Why wouldn't the pig have a collar? Well, it does. I can't.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he had a harness on, but maybe not.
Did you have friends that had pet pigs? Like, I feel like I've never heard of anyone ever having a pig as a pet.
Yes.
You had a friend.
People in California are unique, you guys.
Oh,
that's why
unique.
I'm who I am, and I'm so grateful that you all appreciate me for that.
I don't know. Paul, would you have a pet pig?
I mean, pigs are really smart.
Yeah.
Pigs are really smart, and I know that they get a lot of people say that they're dirty and gross or whatever, but they're actually really clean.
Well,
I'm trying to put a nice bow on this, because earlier today we had another pig. This isn't the first pig in the show.
Oh, look at that. I love it when we tie a bow on things.
Do you
have Buddy the pig.
Buddy the pig.
He's the best pig. He's all day's pig.
Buddy from St. Paul. See, people do have pigs as pets.
I forgot about Buddy. How dare I?
So I remember this was like when I was like in high school, college, like pigs were, I feel like they started to trend a little bit as pets. And I would see news stories about people thought they bought a mini pig.
A teacup pig. Yeah.
Yes, a teacup pig. Thank you.
Yeah, it was the term that was going around, and there's actually
And they actually got a massive farm swine.
You millennials with your
They thought there was something new in the world. We thought there was teacup pigs. They weren't. And now everyone just has these massive pigs.
So they don't exist.
Well, not really. No, I mean they
this
start out
looks like a
pretty
teacup
Maybe it was
pig.
a baby
Well, this
pig.
is a baby pig.
Piglet.
It's a piglet.
Wow.
Anyway.
Well, all right. Well, hopefully now.
Well, can the owner of Buddy the pig in St. Paul hit us up and let us? That pig looks full grown, and he
Jana?
doesn't look too.
Can you go
big.
back to him? Can we see him?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he looks like a
He
mid-size.
probably weighs. Actually, I'm not. I don't know how much he weighs. I have no
Mid-sized
idea.
pig.
Mid-sized pig.
100 pounds.
That looks like a hog.
Jana, shout out. Let us know.
Yeah.
We need to
Jana,
know.
please.
All right. Well, on that note, we hope you have a pigalicious weekend. That's it for us for now. We'll be back on Monday. We hope to see you then. Have a great day.
This is Fox 9 News at 5.
I want to thank you for joining us here at 5 o'clock. We got a lot going on today, and we're going to talk about it for the next hour. My name is Tim Blotz.
And I'm Karen Scullen. Here are some of the headlines tonight. Undercover and wearing a wire inside a sanctuary. The new court documents revealing federal surveillance inside local churches. And dozens sick, 4 hospitalized. A multi-state salmonella and E. coli outbreak is traced back to a Minneapolis Sprouts distributor. A multi-billion-dollar fast break. Mark Lohr sells off his controlling stake in the Timberwolves and Lynx. And fewer farmers and shrinking supply. The impending federal ban on hemp, THC, that's threatening local businesses across Minnesota. And flying cars for a good cause. We're talking with the organizer behind this weekend's high-octane event that's helping families in need get back on the road.
I can't wait.